you're going to lose like 2 seconds.
Oh, no.
I know. It's terrible. So I'm going to do that right now. And then we'll welcome people back to Oktoberkast 2013 in just a minute. Lloyd Case, thank you so much for coming by.
My pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you, sir. You'll be back on This Is Only a Test soon.
I'm sure.
I know you guys are finishing up now, so it's
good luck
crazy.
with the charity.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
And talk to you soon.
Bye now.
And thank you for bringing the giveaway.
Yeah, so
Smash Up.
Courtesy of Lloyd, Smash Up the original Cthulhu set. And it says it's expansion, but he says it's standalone playable with 2 people. So we'll put that in the raffle with all the other awesome swag. I'm going to stop the old stream and restart the Zoom. We are.
Good luck.
See you, Lloyd.
Bye, Lloyd.
Thanks, Lloyd. See ya.
Okay, so thanking Lloyd, that was podcast exclusive content right there.
Whoa.
Wow.
I know, it just happened. Blink and you missed it.
I'm very excited for our next segment coming up.
Well, first, let's welcome people back to Oktoberkast.
Hey, welcome back to Oktoberkast 2013. This is almost beginning of hour 6.
Yes.
We're into the second quarter of this experience.
Yeah.
We are in the
Fourth
second.
done.
This is a horrible thing to
I
say.
think the third quarter is the worst.
The last quarter is the worst.
I think each moment is in some way worse than the one preceding it.
For people who don't know, were just tuning in or have stumbled upon this is a 24-hour podcast for charity. The charities we are donating to are Child's Play, Doctors Without Borders, and the Electronic Frontier Foundation. All very worthwhile charities that are doing good works.
Doing good works, not a ton of overhead. We were very selective about the charities that we chose to support. So if you are interested in that, that is bananas.
And so we're podcasting for 24 hours. We have people coming in every hour, guests, friends.
We're 1 quarter done, guys.
1 quarter done. We have a lot of events coming up. So if you're just watching now, we've not done the Oculus Rift Challenge yet. That'll be me playing for at least 2 hours on the Oculus Rift.
I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe driving a truck. We have not done the Hot Pepper Challenge yet.
No, we got hot peppers still to come.
Hot peppers.
You're going to be playing the Oculus Rift while eating hot peppers.
I'll eat the hot pepper at the end of the show.
At the end of the show.
So we'll all.
If we reach 50 grand, I'm eating the hot pepper.
That's a good stretch goal.
Yeah.
And then,
all right.
No, if we reach 49,000.
If we reach 49,000, I'm not eating anything.
Gary's putting the.
If we reach 49,500, I'll eat the pepper.
Yeah, because I'll make up the difference.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm very, very excited to introduce our next guest, who's never been here before. Once he gets headphones on, talking in there. This is Carl Merriam.
Hey, Carl. Welcome to Oktoberkast.
And you are a Lego builder.
That is correct.
We are huge fans of Lego here at Tested. We've been to Bricks by the Bay.
You know, we had a contest once.
And
Really? Lego contest?
And we're casual fans of Lego. And that's where we found you, at Bricks by the Bay.
That's right.
That's a convention in the Bay Area showcasing all sorts of Lego builds, my own creations, custom builds, kids builds, big.
Yeah, so pretty amazing stuff there we saw.
And you have built some amazing things that you've brought.
Yes.
So for people, I don't know if we can get a camera on there.
We're working on it. But how did you get started? Like, have you been just building Lego your entire life, or is it something that came back at some point in the not too distant past? Or
Well, usually what they call it is the dark ages, when you quit building and then come back into building. And I was lucky enough to kind of skip that because when I was about 14, that's when Star Wars Lego came out. And I mean, you have to buy it. You can't not buy it.
Well, I skipped the Clone Wars stuff. I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the original, the X-wings, the TIE fighters, all the UCS stuff, UCS X-wing, all that. The original stuff was just phenomenal. And then I built, an X-wing 17 times and kind of
the UCS X-wing.
No. I mean, the regular X-wing, the Dagobah X-wing,
all 17 variations.
Yeah, whatever,
of
however many there was, and then I got kind of tired of building.
Did you get the UCS, the Millennium Falcon?
No, I right before that was when I stopped buying Star Wars.
But that's the Holy Grail.
It's a good one.
I know, especially since it's skyrocketed.
It's impossible to build
it's absurd.
and to find now. I mean, it's so expensive. There's a video online of a kid who just got one for his birthday recently.
Wow.
Lucky kid.
I wonder if they'll ever redo that UCS Falcon.
Sure.
That would be pretty sweet.
They won't redo that one, but they'll
it'll be
redesigned,
different.
They've
It'll be a
done
different
the X-wing.
Well, they never reissue the old. They always rebuild it, redesign it, right?
It's crazy though. Like I saw a guy parted it out on Bricklink recently, and it's actually the same price or a little bit cheaper than to just buy.
You can,
you know.
yeah, you can get real close.
Yeah.
I've done that exercise before. It's an expensive proposition.
Yes, expensive either way.
So what's your before we get into your mocks? What's your all-time favorite official kit? Do you have one off the top of your head?
Actually, recently it's been the T1 camper van, the big Volkswagen one.
Oh, that one's
came out
great.
Last year. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's a great set.
Yeah, it's just the amount of detail they add into that. Usually, for years I've been looking at Lego sets, and I like the way they would do it, where you would be able to add more to the set yourself. You kind of look at, you build it once, you're like, okay, you can improve this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But with the T1 camper van, I really couldn't find anything I would change about it after I built it. So it was just nice to really have a really polished set like that.
Yeah, I was
too.
amazed by the attention to detail
It's-
on that set.
it's-
Even even the inside of the van is just like everything, the little
Yeah,
cups and
the
goblets and
faucets
things.
and
Yeah.
They
everything.
designed it so the tire
Curtains.
top you can pop off to
Yeah.
use the inside as a one-to-one play set,
Exactly.
and then also the top has the curtain, the rising, the ventilation.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I built after my return to the Dark Ages. Norm, you and Gary had gotten
I
into
built
Lego
that.
building.
Yep.
Lego. Well, Gary's wife got Gary into Lego building.
Yeah,
Yep.
she never had Dark Ages either. She was always, I had a long Dark Age. And
Gary-
it's one of those things where, you have that experience where you're like, yeah, I did that when I was a kid, but like that's for kids, right? And they go, no, try it. And it's something about, there is a primal thing that happens when you snap Lego bricks together. You just
Yep.
there's just something inherently satisfying and right about it. And you're just like, I want to keep doing this. I built the little Lego White House from the architecture set.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was my gateway back in. And next thing you know, I couldn't get enough of it.
So Norm and I built that camper van one Sunday afternoon, rainy Sunday afternoon, as you tend to do, and I was back
Hands
in.
touch while reaching for the same brick. And
No, it wasn't that kind of afternoon.
One rainy
We
afternoon.
were all there. So
You did Star Wars.
Yeah, you did Star Wars.
And
Star
so
Wars.
after that, you started designing your own Lego creations?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I kind of tell people like it's almost like training. From '99 to 2004, I bought every Star Wars set that came out, and I built all of them. So I get all the different techniques and stuff from them. And then I've been building when I was a kid before that, but I think that's the development period where I could see the different ways to build things. And then after, like around 2003, 2004, I started doing more of my own stuff. I did a little bit of stuff, while I was doing Star Wars, but once I had, I don't know if you remember Piron. It's like another a Lego inventory thing where you could input your sets and then it would tell you on what parts you had. So you kind of part out, if you're looking for a specific part, you can look at what set you have and say, oh, I have 10 of these or whatever. So I put all my Star Wars sets in there and it said I had 85,000 pieces. And I was like, well, I could probably build something else.
That's brilliant. So this is a web service.
Yeah.
You log on and you type in the numbers
Mhm.
of the sets you have,
Yeah.
and it'll give you have X number of the
Right.
4x6, whatever.
So it was really helpful when I'm trying to like do bricklink orders because basically you're saying, okay, I've designed a little repeating texture that I want to do. It takes 10 of this piece and 7 of that piece. I need 500 of this and 20 of this. And I can go through the database and see how many I have each
Now,
color. and
once
whatnot.
once you start cannibalizing your sets like that to do your own creations, do you at that point stop caring about those pieces ever going back to the original sets? Because how would you keep track of that? Or do you just say, well, this is what they are now; they're just generic pieces for my own builds?
Yeah, after I'd kind of decided to no longer, I had them all on display. So almost every set, 2 closets filled, just floor to ceiling. And I was like, well, we're gonna change these into stock parts. So I tore them all apart, which was apparently the worst idea I could ever have because now they would be worth, I don't even know how much. It's absurd how much they go up. But just a big bucket of parts, and then I start sorting from there, sort them out, and then just use them for whatever. So like I had the Star Destroyer, the original UCS Star Destroyer, and so I built quite a few things that had a lot of dark gray or light gray in them because I had this huge,
the
huge
Star Destroyer.
yeah. Exactly.
So what's I'm going to ask real. I apologize because
No,
I'm
it's
asking
okay.
real dumb questions. What's your store when you're putting all that stuff? You said you dumped it all in a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like drawers with like do you sort by color and then size and then shape and like what's your strategy for that? Because it seems like if you have 85,000 parts, it's a terrifying organizational challenge.
Yeah, and pretty much every time you buy more, it just changes into a different way of doing it. So when the first time I had sorted my parts, I do what everybody kind of goes through the same evolution of sorting. So first you start by color, which doesn't really help at all because you can't find anything. If you're looking for a specific part in a specific color in a giant bin of the one color, like if you're looking for your yellow part in a yellow bin, you can't find a specific shape because they're all the same color. So then you switch over to doing by shape. So now all my bins are, like 1x2 bricks that are all different colors. But if
Right.
I want a black one, it's easy to find.
Okay.
That makes sense.
But then if you end up like, Lego certified professional guys that have an entire, buckets and bins and boxes of the same part in the same color, then you have to like have a little bit of it and then the overflow storage somewhere else, and just keeps going on and on and on.
There's only
like
a
that.
dozen of those guys
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
world.
It's not a problem for
No.
most people.
So my question is, how do you migrate? How do you evolve beyond being the guy that just builds the pre-made? Because we can all do that. It's basically like building IKEA furniture, right?
Right,
As long
right.
as you follow the instructions and pay attention, you can build really elaborate stuff because the instructions make it essentially as easy as they possibly can. But to build something from scratch using your own design, I think is a totally, it seems like you would have to have much more of a builder's eye, much more of an imagination for that. Like at what point do you figure out if you're actually able to do that and kind of go off the instructions and start creating elaborate things according to your own designs?
I think it's basically just like anything else. The more you work with it, the more you're able to do more with it. So over the years, I've just been going on and keep at it, keep doing it, keep building it. I mean, I like to joke that I have like 28 years of experience, but I'm 20.
And how much planning goes into like a really complex build like this? Are you actually kind of mapping out the steps, or do you just start putting bricks together and just see how it goes? Like what's the procedure when you're creating something complex?
Well, usually what I'll do is I'll kind of think about what I want to do, and then find the hardest part to build. So usually that's the most round or organic part or whatever. So like for Cthulhu, I start out with his head because I knew I wanted to use the Medusa tails for the face tentacles, and then I kind of scaled the head to that, and then from that I scaled everything else together.
And this looks very different than when I saw this at
Right.
Bricks by the Bay. So it's not like you finish one thing and then that's it. You modified it, and it's way more menacing, and it's bigger now, and has big feet. So like, when does creation end?
Well, for like the Bricks by the Bay, I wanted to take Cthulhu to Bricks by the Bay because I was happy with the head and the hands, and so I spent about 5 hours just bash out the rest of it, kind of like a rough draft, basically. And a lot of the way that most builders will do that is you'll have like 2 or 3 versions of the same thing until you're really happy with the entire thing. So like the head went through about 2, 3, maybe 4 versions before I got to where it's at now, and it stayed there because it was already done. But then the body and like the legs and the base and everything about that, this is the plan I had originally when it came up with the idea. Listening to the books and stuff, kind of recreating the scene from the Call of Cthulhu when he comes out of the doorway and then there's the boat there and all that kind of. I mean, it's not exactly, but it kind of relates to it.
It's pretty amazing, man. I mean,
Can you-
don't sell yourself short.
I mean, just for this piece, and we'll go through all your pieces. Can
Right.
you just call out piece like the build process for each of them and what you were thinking when you were building something like the arms or the water?
Where are all these pieces cannibalized from as well? Like, are these all from existing sets that you've taken?
Well, I mean, most of them probably from a set originally. Some of them are from Bricklink. I mean, most parts on Bricklink are from sets.
So
originally.
if you don't know, Bricklink is a place it's kind of like eBay for Lego brick, and
It's
you
like
can
the
go.
Silk Road for Lego.
Yeah, pretty much. You can go and
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
okay, I want this many orange bricks and in this size and shape, and
Yeah.
like there are tools even that you can take, like you can do Lego CAD and then export a file that you can pump into Bricklink and kind of.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of. I mean, you can get a list and then populate the list over, and there's nothing that really does it efficiently because it's just so difficult that you end up ordering stuff from all over the world to if you want this very specific thing.
Because it's users to users for
Yeah,
the most
yeah,
part,
yeah.
or dealers to users, whatever.
Yeah, but a lot. Yeah, their stores vary in size from like one person to a whole huge store or whatnot. So parts cannibalized, and then we were going back to okay.
Let's walk us through this entire
Yeah.
piece.
So like I said, first with the head, I started with the Medusa. So I think I got one over here. One of these. So.
And the Medusa was
Okay, hold on.
it's one of the you buy the mystery bags, right?
And they.
It's like the blind bag,
So there's a size scale difference. Oh, so this is just the tails.
just
Yes.
the tail.
Wow, you must have gotten really good at the blind bags.
Well, the thing about the Medusa bags is they're actually bigger than the other bags, so you can actually see the difference.
So see, the tail
Lego
is.
Whisperer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We would
tail's
go to
right
the Lego
there.
store down in.
We have a Lego Whisperer.
and one of the employees would work
Yeah,
there.
He will
feel the bag.
feel the
Yeah,
bag
yeah.
and he can tell you what's what, so you don't get dupes.
Yeah, I've done that for quite a few people. Standing around in Target, they come up and, can you know where Cowboy is? I'm like, here you go, there's the one. But so start out with that, and then So I'm trying to shape out the head, get it the scale the same way. Actually changed the eye color since last time too. So it's just little tweaks and whatnot. While I'm building, I'm listening to a lot of different Lovecraft books on audiobooks. So I can kind of get that inspiration, the dark, ancient powers or whatnot.
Okay.
And then the rest of, like going through these wings, actually, I didn't have a specific plan for. I just know I wanted some kind of wings. And I try to work with a stock that I have rather than buying every piece, because then, even this, you're talking about Bricklink and eBay orders. I spent well over probably $200 getting
just the wings.
Not the whole thing, but not that I couldn't buy it for that much. But what I mean is like additional to what I already had in my collection.
Gotcha.
Would cost, so I try not to do too much of that. So these wing pieces, I bought them back in, I think in 2005, like right when I first started getting on Bricklink. And there was a Bricklink store that was going out of business, 90% off. So I just bought all these little black hingy pieces, and I hadn't used them for anything in years. And then I had the whole bin of them, like, I can try doing that. And they came out pretty good for the tentacle type feel. You can sculpt them a little bit, which is nice.
So do you just kind of keep an eye on Bricklink for deals and stuff like that too, just for interesting looking pieces all the time?
Not all the time. I used to be on there a lot more, but it gets to be like you're spending $20, $30, $40 every other day, and then it adds up to
that adds up pretty fast.
So there's kind of this thing in the Lego community where you just try to stay off of Bricklink as much as you can, because you're just gonna buy it. Everything is there.
It really is like Silk Road.
Yeah, you try to stay off of it unless you have to, and then you have to go on, and it just
So you scale based on one key piece,
right.
and then do you sketch, get out in CAD, or just kind of start building, or a little bit of everything?
I'm very bad at drawing.
Okay.
I've been doing sculpture stuff ever since I was a kid with Lego and modern clay, going to ceramics, glass blowing, bronze casting, all that kind of stuff through college. So I'm more the hands. So I think about it. I'll use my experience from other stuff to think about the infrastructure. So like the internal structure of this is a lot different than just building brick on brick, and you have to make sure it's strong enough to hold and all that kind of stuff. And he fell over quite a few times while I was building it.
That seems scary.
Yeah.
Well, that was going to be my question as well. Is like you have to, especially with a big freestanding build like that, there's an engineering component to this as well, right? This thing has to be stable and stand, and when you build these complex models, it's the part, my least favorite part when I'm doing an intricate Lego model is all the internal guts and the stuff that just makes sure that it's going to be stable, that you're never going to see, and it's not the sexy part of the building, but it's got to be done. But when you're doing your own creation, you've got to be bearing that in mind as well.
Yeah, and that a lot of time we'll go into that, especially for stuff like this. This starts pushing it, and when you're going this scale and bigger, it's like some of the biggest stuff I've done. I don't like the giant stuff, but when you try to make something kind of precarious like this, where it really there's a lot of weight on going at weird angles on there, and so the main thing was to get the legs to work and to hold enough weight, and then kind of just sculpt everything around them. So you try to make the I try to make the infrastructure as thin as I possibly can, and then just wrap stuff.
And just like a big sculpture when you're transporting, bringing it here, you had it in pieces.
Right.
You have to take time to reassemble it.
So it comes apart into about I think it's like 10 or 15 different kind of sections, so they don't break. And then you can pack it all up, and then I think it takes about 30 minutes to put it back together.
And then for a sculpture like that, is the core usually like big Technics pieces and stuff like that? Is it the same as the Lego official Lego kits?
Usually that's what I do. Because the Technic construction is a lot stronger.
Okay.
So and I have a lot of Technic that I use for infrastructure. I found out over working with different things, trying to make stuff stand up on a thin base. A lot of Technic internals really help it a lot. Because they can't come apart if you put it, you put Technic beams up and then crossways Technic beams through there with the pins. Yeah. They can't come apart unless you actually take them apart.
It's the same construction that you saw if you have ever built like the Superstar Destroyer or the Tent of 4 or those kind. I think I want to say that had a Technic core,
it had that slid together and had the pins that would all, so you wouldn't have to. So you wouldn't end up with a giant ship that's all one piece. That's one of the things that people kind of try to avoid most of the time, because they're really hard to transport, and a lot of torque will happen, and bust all the pieces.
I remember the last time I went to Bricks by the Bay, there was a guy who had a giant Japanese battleship. It was like 14 feet long or something. And
that was cool.
Yeah, that broke up into sections maybe a foot long.
Yeah,
that he could transport.
Yeah, finally finished his new
he's finished
one.
it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was really, really amazing.
Anthony, his name is.
Do you? So when you get a new kit, that you're planning to part out, if it's something you haven't built, do you put it together once first to see if the Lego they've come up with anything new that you haven't seen yet, or new techniques and stuff? Or
I kind of wasn't doing that for a while, and then I've kind of been doing that lately, just because I figure you pay the money for the kit, you might as well see what's up. And I found that it helps me keep updated, like you said, with the new parts, because they really do release a lot of new parts all the time. And so if I have to build the whole thing, and I say, oh, there's these new parts, and I know, and I kind of have this revolving door of what new parts I have and what sets and whatnot.
I've noticed as the complexity of as the popularity has gone up in the last couple of years, even the complexity of some of the UCS kits has gotten crazy. That R2D2 kit from I guess last year now had really cool mechanical stuff in it.
No, I haven't actually bought that one yet, but I did see it demonstrated. The mechanisms are just like really interesting.
It's super cool. Okay, so you're sculpting, you just put it together, and I mean this is fantastic. Do you paint the parts ever, or are these parts that just came with the paint detail on them?
Those are all printed by Lego. So the hands are actually from some old dinosaur sets. I don't remember the exact year, but they had that printing kind of scaling thing.
Is it the back of a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something?
Well, they were like modular dinosaurs.
Oh wow!
So the two hands they snap together and turn into one dinosaur body, and then they'd have different dinosaur heads and tails.
Oh yeah, I just realized the hands are like the ass end of a dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur body. Yeah,
and actually, if you look at the chest, that's 4 more dinosaurs from the new series. So these,
oh my goodness,
this is more dinosaur ass.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Look, hold on, it checks out. Yeah. And in this case, the printing that Lego did on the dinosaur is great. I mean, it totally works with it. So that's
right.
That's
and looking at
cool.
it actually fits the Cthulhu, because that's even more of an abomination that you've taken these creatures and torn them to pieces and kind of
smashed them together.
Frankenstein them back together. It's truly ungodly in every way.
Sorry about your little hands, Velociraptor.
Yep.
So can we talk about the microscope?
Yeah.
I'm super into this.
So basically, let me grab this over here.
Okay.
I think it was.
If we can put it.
Yeah, you can put it right in front of my
where
laptop
we
if there's a
want,
space for it. I'll scooch the laptop out of the way.
Right there.
This is cool. This is the working one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other one is no longer assembled. That was cannibalized a while ago. But the first microscope that I built, I think it was back when I was in senior in high school. They had these X-Pods sets, and I don't know if you guys remember those or not. But they're like a little clear pod, and they had lids on the top and bottom, and the kit would come inside of it.
Okay.
Like a little mini whatever.
It was
so,
like the
Kind of like a little Kinder egg with Lego?
kind of like, but it was actually a Lego piece.
Okay.
So it was like a clear kind of petri dish shaped thing, and then it had the lids on both sides.
It's kind of like the little micro sets that they're doing for Star Wars stuff now.
Exactly like that.
The
Except for it
planets.
doesn't have a planet though.
Yeah.
But so I didn't like that back then. I really did not like Lego parts that are non-standard or too big or whatever. So I didn't feel like you could have enough uses for them. And I was looking at this one, I said, it looks kind of like a petri dish. And then I did an entire microscope around that with the coarse and fine adjustment and planetary gear set inside of it that did all the different things. Actually put a little magnifying glass up in the top of the eyepiece, so you can look through it and focus it.
So the magnifying glass was the glass a Lego piece as well?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
When Lego came out with I think they were the Lego Adventure sets. It was kind of like Indiana Jones, but before they did licensed stuff. Mm-hmm. And they had archaeologists with like a little magnifying glass that actually had a plastic lens on there. So I did that, and then for a while after that, I'd been doing a couple, like in college I did astronomy, and we did like the telescope stuff. And I realized that you could probably do a compound microscope or a telescope. So I built a little telescope thing that kind of did, I think it was 1.2 times magnification. And then this year I decided to revisit the microscope and try to do a working one. So this is actually a working compound microscope. It has Lego LEDs. It has Lego lenses. So it's 100% all Lego, all directly from them, and it's about a 10 times magnification.
So do you think when they're doing things like building kind of odd one-off parts that go into different kits, they're thinking, hey, we're going to give out pieces of more complex machines that people can put together? Is just because the Lego line is so massive at this point, everything's out there?
I mean, I think there's certain things from talking to some of the Lego reps and whatnot. They'll throw in a few things for like more complex, like the adult community or whatever. But most of it is just like what they think kids are gonna like.
Okay.
I mean, it's 99% of all the money that they get is from people buying it for kids. So they're like, this will be cool for kids. That'll work.
Archaeologists are good role models for kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? From a magnifying glass.
Yeah, and they use the magnifying glass for years, over and over, and they even actually have in the new collectible minifig, or I don't remember what series it is, they have the diver, and he has a magnifying glass lens in his helmet that actually is the same part.
You mentioned that
thing.
you took apart
That's
the big one,
fantastic.
so your creations are one-off because you don't have like an unlimited supply of
Right,
Lego,
right.
and every time you want to build
Yeah,
something new, like
Right,
you build
we-
something and then you take a ton of photos,
Right.
and your photos are great. And we want to first call out if you're just tuning in, this is Carl Merriam, and your website is Brick Laboratory.
bricklaboratory.com.
bricklaboratory.com, which is a link to your Flickr page and your Facebook page. Highly recommend checking out your Flickr page because the photos you take are also
Thank you.
awesome. You also do the 2D stuff too, the stacked Lego piece, like the 2D art.
Oh,
I can-
like the mosaic type stuff. Or
Yes,
something? Yeah.
yeah.
I can confirm that the microscope
Does it work?
100% functional.
Wow.
Super duper cool, man. And you're on Twitter too at Brick Laboratory.
Yes, at Brick Laboratory. Yeah, I think that just kind of. I use a routing service, so it just kind of sends it out to everything.
Everything goes everywhere.
Yeah.
That's nothing wrong with that.
So do you still, once you've got into building your own stuff and using your own designs, are you still able to enjoy building like the preset kits that Lego puts out and just following the instructions?
Absolutely. I mean, especially, I don't know why. Actually, my son is really into cars. He's 2. And so I've been kind of into the Lego City stuff lately. And just, I don't know, it's a lot of fun building cars now, which is weird because I never built any cars before like a year ago.
Well, sometimes it turns out when your kids are into stuff, then
Yeah,
it
exactly.
makes it a little more interesting, right?
And do you feel like you're less reliant on the instructions as you become more expert in this, or are you still like, carefully turning every page and making sure you didn't miss anything in the previous step before you move on?
If I'm going to build the set, I'm going to go by the instructions, and I like to make it exactly like the instructions, just out of, I don't know, just because I think that's fun. So I even checked like the rotation of the little pieces and whatnot, and the Technic bushings, you can put them on with a line on one side or the line on the other side. So
It's got to be 100%.
Yeah. What's the point in following the directions if you're not going to go all the way? I
So,
guess.
so you bought 85,000 pieces worth of sets over the years.
That was
Plus,
Star Wars.
That was a long time ago.
That was just a Star Wars. So that was not including what I had before that or after that.
How many pieces are in your catalog right now, you think?
My estimation, the closest I can get, is about 225.
So how many times, that is a lot of Lego pieces, by the way. How many times have you found bad bricks? Does it happen often?
You mean just like
a defect
misprint
or
whatever?
misprint or whatever? Do you
really,
remember?
like in kits, I really haven't found very many. I mean, maybe a couple. I actually mismolded. I don't even think. I'm trying to even remember if I've ever seen one.
I think I got one.
Yeah, I mean,
in an A-wing kit last year that they apologized. They were like, we know that we had some go out bad. We're so sorry, and sent me one that came like 3 days later. I was
Yeah.
really shocked.
Quality control is top notch.
I want your expert perspective on this because this has happened to all of us a lot as amateurs that just follow the instructions. And every set I've ever built, there is inevitably a moment where you go, this piece is just not here. Lego have messed up. It's just the piece is not here. We're going to have to. But oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And they in fact never mess up. You've either just lost it or you didn't spot it. In your experience? So you obviously built a lot more Lego kits than all of us. Does that ever actually happen, or did it just fall between the couch cushions?
We just recently at BrickCon, I did have one set, and we actually had multiple copies of the set that seemed to have one piece that came in 2 different colors in large quantities. It was one of the Heroica sets, so those 2x2 tiles with one stud in the middle. It seemed to have one light gray one when it should have had one extra light gray one and one less dark gray one. So you didn't actually have the wrong number of pieces, but you just had one in the wrong color.
Huh.
And then I think the only time I actually have had a piece missing was when I bought one at Sprouse Ritz, and it was already
Name and shame.
open.
Okay.
So
Well, but then all
Yeah.
bets are off at that
exactly,
point.
so-
Right?
Lego is not infallible,
No.
but it is their
I mean, it's really crazy how well they do it.
quality controls.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the people who've done the Arduino boards, the Lego robots, stress testing the piece, and you can connect and disconnect a Lego for hundreds of thousands of times before the connection even loses its grip.
I know, it's crazy.
What do you do with the dark gray, light gray problem?
Well, when it first happened, it was a huge problem for me because I only had. Are you talking about dark gray, not light gray, or new gray and old gray?
Well, new gray, old gray is a different problem. We can talk about that because I bet a lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah. But what's the dark gray, light
The
gray?
dark gray,
problem?
light gray problem is that dark gray and black, I guess, look the same on the book.
Oh, and the instructions.
Yeah,
In the book,
instructions.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize
yeah.
this, but I'm looking for a dark grey piece.
Yeah.
But it's actually a black piece, but they
Right.
represent it as dark grey, I guess, because if they print it as black,
It'll
the
be
book-
it'll just be
you
a
can't,
square.
yeah, you can't see what it is.
Yeah.
I have the same problem.
Okay.
Basically.
And so you're
I
good
work
at
around
this,
it.
is what you're saying.
Happens-
It's still a problem.
happens
Okay.
to the best of
it's
us.
just basically what I do is when I start building the set, I'm like usually they'll have a finite number of pieces, obviously, and then the ones that are black and the ones that are dark gray, you're like, okay, well this one's only in black, so those must all be black.
Yeah.
And then you kind of you do that adjustment where you kind of can compensate for color, temperature, or whatever when you're looking at stuff.
Do you knoll out your whole kit, your whole set before you build something?
What was that?
Do you, so knolling is the act of like laying things out in a semi-regular grid. So do you make the lumber yard before you lay everything out? You just put a big pile and let it rip?
I up until let me see which the UCS Star Destroyer.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every set that I ever built, I dumped all of it in one box and
my
just dug
goodness.
around in it. This includes the Tantive 4, the UCS X-wing, the UCS Snow Speeder. Like I'm just like digging for 3 hours, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna sort next time. So the Star Destroyer, I did sort that. That one took me 19 hours to put together, and then I mean, if I don't really ever buy like a giant set because I don't like to spend forever building it. So I'll buy like the $20 or $30, maybe $60, but
Up to 500 pieces.
Yeah.
but-
You're not building London bridges all day long.
No. I have it, but I haven't built it yet.
Yeah, we have UCS B wings that we haven't built yet.
Yeah. I think all three of us. Yeah.
have
Everybody,
UCS B
yeah.
wings that we haven't built
I
yet.
have so much.
It's a beautiful set. Beautiful.
Because I've got close to a 2-year-old at home as well, and like you can just forget about building Lego.
Yeah,
I actually don't know how you continue to do it because it's just a nightmare. We have a lot of sets that we bought that just aren't even unboxed, but one day we will get to them. Here's what I want to ask you: if I were to give you a relatively complex set, like say the camper van,
Right.
but took away the book, could you build it just by figuring out how it's supposed to go together?
But you have the picture, maybe the box.
Yeah, you can look at the box. I'm looking at the jigsaw.
I mean, if it's something that big, I'd just be guessing at what was inside of it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be like right or anything. It's
I'd be interested in seeing that. It'd be like the
Yeah.
Cthulhu version of the van, like just horribly,
hope it's pretty
horribly
close.
deformed.
The thing you're saying is that as you're building, you're always imagining what you could add to it, or
Right.
when you're done, what you can flourish you can add that
What-
would make
what-
it more
yeah.
your own. And so, is that something you're thinking of as you're building the pre-made sets?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just looking at different things. Like there's different camps of builders, so I don't really like studs very much as a visual element and like very specific
Like
things.
singles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like any amount. So, I mean, there's a few left on Cthulhu because putting tiles on stuff, if it's on a rounded edge, just makes it look more blocky. So it's not as good. But like I try to avoid that. So like a lot of sets that I could see where you would have less studs in the final product. That'd be nicer. I don't really do a lot of set modification, but it's because I'd rather just build something else. But yeah, it's interesting to see what you could change about it and how you can improve it.
How many pieces are in the Cthulhu?
Well, the original estimation was 1,500, but I'm gonna go probably 2,500 now. Maybe.
Wow.
I mean,
I
just
don't
the
know.
base alone is pretty substantial.
Yeah, that's just a guess. I have no idea. I mean, these wings, you probably have at least 300, 400, or 500 pieces in them.
Have you ever put anything up on Kusu?
Yeah, actually, this is on Kusu right now. Go
The
look for
microscope.
it.
Go support that right now.
I'll go
I would love to see that.
That
as
is
a set.
that's a great idea for kids.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
They get
And
to
then-
build Lego and then be scientists.
That's what
Oh.
I'm thinking. Lego for education, and the first two Kuso ones before they came to America, they were
Japanese
science
science
based.
vessels, yeah.
So I'm thinking, and this is, I mean, there's like 4 million factors to go into whether or not they approve it. So you can't really.
That's
know-
pretty
know
Lego
what's
friendly
gonna- yeah.
though. It's not like some of these sets are like cool, but like like the Breaking Bad meth van that Lego's never gonna make into a set, even
Right,
though it's kind
exactly.
of cool. It gets lots of votes.
What? How many pieces is in the microscope? Do you know?
I'm gonna guess that one's probably somewhere between 300 and 400.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's
That's not even
manageable.
that's not
Yeah.
even that complex
No,
a
no.
set.
So I mean, like the Back to the Future car, the DeLorean was what was that, like 400 pieces somewhere on there?
Yeah.
But they were small pieces, so that makes a difference too.
I'm not a big fan of.
I didn't think that
DeLorean.
was a good set. It was way too blocky.
Yeah.
I like the printing. I bought it for the printing. I actually bought 2 of them. One of them I can save and hopefully make $1 million.
So we're gonna give you a shout out to your set here. If you want to, people don't know what
I'm
Kusu
going to tweet it
is.
right now.
Kusu is Lego's program. I don't think it's they do more than Lego. Kusu does, but Lego works
Yeah,
with Kusu.
that's like the Lego. Lego.Kuso is
Right,
the one.
Lego.cuusoo.com, and it's kind of like this crowdsourcing support site for MOCs, my own creations, to try to get turned into real Lego kits that Lego produced limited sets of. It's how I don't know if Minecraft was done that way.
Yes.
Minecraft was
there were two
Japanese sets.
things. There was a submarine, which I think is still one of my favorite
satellite,
sets.
which is also
a
really
satellite one. And if a set receives a certain number of votes, then it has to go through an evaluation process.
Right. And then they usually say no.
Well, if there's sort of like license problems and stuff like that, then yeah. But they have to actually respond.
Yeah, so there's
like
only like
thing.
there's only ever been like 5 or 6 projects that have actually ever like wound up on the shelves, right?
Yeah. It's
no small endeavor.
No.
So you have to get to 10,000 community votes, and that'll start the process.
Yeah.
But then there's obviously Lego have their own
Then
way
It's
of
called the
vetting it.
working microscope.
Yeah,
Right.
I just tweeted it, so you can go to my Twitter feed. I'll retweet it on Octobercast. Is it based off of any particular real microscope, or you just took the elements, as you know, microscope to work and went from there?
I did a couple Google image searches just to get a general idea of microscopes again, and like the double knob thing was a common thing. Those are actually geared separately, so one's coarse and fine adjustment as well.
So you have a planetary gear on the fine adjustment or something? Or
No, they actually just 2 different size gears that run on the same linear gear.
That's fantastic.
I just kind of basically tried to take the Lego and instead of push it into a shape, make the shape out that's easiest to make out of the Lego. You know what I mean?
So it looks like the barrel is like the canisters from the side of a space shuttle booster rocket or something like that, and
It's actually just 2 tires.
oh, just 2 tires.
Yes.
No. I mean the
Oh,
the barrel.
that part. Those particular ones were stolen from the Lego City wind turbine set.
Ah,
So that makes the pylon for the wind turbine. But I mean, they've had those for
So
forever. And
common
even-
piece.
It does
Yeah.
look like the boosters.
Yeah.
the tire as the eyepiece is great.
Oh, so smart. So
Fantastic.
smart. Hey, we want to remind people
Thanks,
why
Tom.
we're here. This is Octobercast, a 24-hour podcast for charity. It's an endurance test, tantric podcast. I'll say that.
I don't think
again.
we can count it as an endurance test now that we've done it 3 times. We're pretty
It's still
sure
an
we can make
endurance.
it.
No, we just
Gary,
get
not
older and
necessarily.
less able each time.
Yeah,
so I think it's
exactly.
even more valid to call it an endurance test.
But it's for charity, and this year we are trying to raise money for 3 charities. Child's Play, which is a charity to help bring toys and games to kids in hospitals who otherwise wouldn't have access to them. Doctors Without Borders, which is sending doctors to places that need medical attention and help that otherwise wouldn't have it. And also the Electronic Frontier Foundation, an organization supporting free speech and
Internet freedom.
Internet freedom. And the way you can support is either go to Octoberkast.com. There are links to all 3 of those charities, or directly tested.com/kids for Child's Play, tested.com/doctors for Doctors Without Borders, and tested.com/electrons for the Electronic Frontier Foundation.
It's hard to remember when you get about halfway through there, huh?
And I'm waiting for the total, which right now is $7,742 we've raised so far.
yeah.
It's looking good.
Looking good. We want to raise way more money. Please contribute. It's for a good cause. We see none of that money. We touch none of that money. None of it goes in our
Norm
pockets.
can't take it to Vegas. Can't put it all on black.
I still think.
Just don't say it. People don't trust us when
All
you
right,
say stuff like
forget it.
that. It makes it sound like.
But there's nothing. It's not like
There's no chance.
But I'm not being underhand. I'm
No,
saying
no.
what I'm going to do. I take it to Vegas, put it all on black,
I
and
understand.
double everyone's money.
I know.
I don't think it's that
There's
sure a
nothing
thing.
duplicitous about it. I'm being very upfront about
but
my
it's not like
intentions.
it's guaranteed. You have to kind of.
No, of course not.
No.
Have you seen those commercials for investments? The investments can go down
but
as well
we-
as up. Anything can happen. That's
we
life.
give. If you donate, you get a tax deductible receipt. I don't think we can do that if you're gonna take the money and put it on black.
Mate,
I
I'm
think that-
not a lawyer. I don't pretend to know the legals ins and outs. I'm just saying it's one way to go.
I'm just all I want to.
Don't tell me you wouldn't watch. Don't tell me you wouldn't be excited to
Oh
watch
no! I
that
totally
wheel spin
go.
around.
I would call the casino in advance and see if we could bring a live streaming camera that just gets aimed at the roulette wheel, just for one time only.
Well, I'm telling you right now,
It was
they're
terrible
going
at
to
the
say
end
no
of
to that.
Fast
but-
and Furious 6 when one of the guys put all his $50 million on red, and the other guy
Did
put
he?
it all on black. It's like, what?
Oh.
What happens if 00 comes up?
I
Well,
think
they
that's
all lose.
exactly
The house
how
wins.
Everyone loses. The house always.
That's why that 00 is there.
always
Yeah.
wins. We have
Evens
stretch
out the
goals.
odds.
So if we reach $10,000 soon, magic things will happen.
Let's say by 8 p.m.
If we reach
$2,500 the next 2
$50,000
hours.
by the end of this stream, Will's gonna have a hot pepper.
I will
Which
eat
is,
a.
which is in no way equipped to be able to handle. So
no, by then I'll be real broken, so it'll be real good. I'll
Mentally
start
and
sweating
physically.
and screaming and.
And you can chat
should we
with
time
people.
the hot pepper with the Lego challenge? Maybe.
That's gonna happen about 4 or 5 a.m. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So I did want to ask Carl about that and talk.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what
we
we're
should
jumping
get
to
your
right
input on
next.
this.
Oh, we have more MOCs though.
Yeah, I want
Yes,
to know what
yes,
I
we
want to
will-
know what the wall is.
Yeah.
I'm
So wait.
very curious
More
about that.
just housekeeping. You can still for people in chat, if you want to participate, go to testing.com/chat, and user signups are working again. Engineers just let us know about that in case they weren't working.
You guys
earlier.
hit us too hard earlier today.
And also, we have plenty of giveaways.
Oh.
That
Oh,
we're
look.
giving away. I don't.
Yes,
Oh.
face slap.
Wow.
Right in the
Is that going to
face.
happen at $10,000?
I'll take a hit in the face for 10 grand.
Boom! Look at that.
What
Just
they're
to be
actually seeing?
clear.
I don't know that's what they're actually seeing.
Oh, they might be seeing the feed.
It's
That
hard to
took
know in slow
7
motion,
or
but was
8
that actually a
times.
pretty good slap?
Yeah, it hurt like hell. Norm, the first couple of times Norm hit with the heel of his palm first, so he hit bone, and it kind of just spun the whole face around. But that was a real kind of smack.
Yeah,
Good clap.
That looked good.
And also, we're playing giveaways. We're giving out at the end. It'll be a random giveaway for a bunch of stuff.
That'll be, and just to be clear, that'll be at the end of the donation window on November 21st, for the most part.
20
We have a
days from
couple
now.
of things we're going to give away tomorrow morning at like 11
Right now, we have Carl Merriam.
Hey, Carl.
Bricklaboratory.com
Yep.
is your website, and you've brought some amazing my own creations that you've made to show off. So we've talked about the Cthulhu.
Right.
We could talk about that for hours.
Yep.
But what do you have next to him?
So I don't know. Have you guys listened to They Might Be Giants at all?
I am. I had a roommate who was really into They Might Be Giants in college.
Mm-hmm. So did you go to any concerts or anything?
No.
All right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Birdhouse in Your Soul. You probably heard the song. Okay. So this is my my version of Birdhouse in Your Soul. So it's a blue canary nightlight in the outlet by the light switch. Watches over you.
So you're telling the story of
Wow.
the song
Right.
in a Lego wall.
And so this has been something that I'd wanted to do for a while. And then I got in Fresno, I got invited to an invitational gallery show. And the theme was transparency. So, so nightlight is transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Get the light coming through there. And then actually, let me switch this around here. So you can look, sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
You can look over through
Yeah.
on the back here and see the inside
Oh wow.
of the wall. So it's kind of like you can see through the wall.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Whoa.
So it's as if you're a Wes Anderson movie, and we just went through the wall into the
Yeah.
next room.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
And so I'd want to do this kind of stuff. I live in an old 1938 house in Fresno, so I like the lath and plaster and all that little old kind of breakout box thing.
And it looks like you mixed the cloth wrapped electrical wires and
Right.
the whole thing.
Exactly.
Anytime you do any work on the walls of a house like that, you're risking death, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
No, I understand.
Real asbestos in the build there.
100% all asbestos. These are custom molded one by one.
And so I noticed the cables there, for the power cables are the same links that you use for the Cthulhu, the wings.
That is correct.
And
yeah.
so it's just you had a lot of those, and they
Yeah,
Now-
work
like I
funny.
said, I'm trying to find uses for them. These are the only two things I've used them for, I think.
So this obviously requires a certain amount. You've got to get it right. So do you present this at conventions and most people don't get it, and then someone will come along and go, "Oh, dude, Birdhouse in Your Soul," and they totally get it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You got to have somebody that is a They Might Be Giants fan, and then
Venn diagram.
and then I have to put that. I it's named Birdhouse in Your Soul. So anytime it's on display or whatever,
Okay.
then you get that little. Oh, there. Okay, I get it. Hopefully, most people know that it's about a nightlight and not an actual birdhouse.
And he says it's working.
Yes.
So
Oh, so you can plug it in.
Yeah. So
Oh, cool.
there's photos on my Flickr of that you can see what it looks like at night or whatever. That was the whole idea, to get that photo of kind of a nightlight on. This is the wrong cable, so I can't really plug it in right now, unfortunately.
Oh, but it does light up.
Yeah, it's the same LEDs as this, so they don't really show up in any amount of light.
Our studio lighting,
Yeah,
it turns to blow out whatever
yeah,
lights we have. Yeah.
Pretty much won't do anything. But this was actually, I just unloaded this out of the box. They just shipped it back. It was on display at the Longmont Museum over in Colorado, I want to say. They did a build. It was called Build the Lego Experience display, and they had Sean Kinney did some stuff there, and they kind of emailed builders from all over the world and had to ship different pieces over there. So it just came back, I think a couple weeks ago, and I just unloaded it from the box right here in the studio.
How do you ship something like this? I gotta imagine. I mean, I get that has at least straight edges and stuff,
Yeah.
so you can build a box. But I mean, Cthulhu is unshippable,
No,
right?
yeah. I mean, unless I was there on the other end, pretty much you can't. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to ship it. This, like I said, these two, the birdhouse and like this little bird in the front here, those were all shipped, and the little.
There are a lot of folks in chat, by the way, that are super into They Might Be Giants. It seems like.
Oh, cool. They Might Be Giants are the best. That's why my screen name is They Might Be Giants rules on most things.
Can you do The Sun is a Massive Incandescent Gas next? Because that's my personal favorite.
I can play it on the accordion, but I guess I'd have to take a while to build.
Yeah, that might be a difficult Lego build.
1-to-1 scale, please.
Yes.
So what am I holding here?
It's a little like a
razor.
razor.
Oh yeah. I don't use these, so it's
Oh, yeah,
unfamiliar
no.
to me, I guess.
4
don't either.
blades.
That's fantastic. Oh, only three
3
blades. Norm.
blades.
Triple blade.
Very cool.
Wow.
So that was another thing that came back from over there.
So how many hours go into something like this? I know that's a challenging question, but I mean,
Most builds are, I have no idea.
Really?
But it's somewhere around like Cthulhu. I'm going to estimate. I think I estimated 60 hours.
that's less than I would have expected.
Yeah. Well, I'm very fast at building stuff. I'm faster than most people.
And I mean, I'm sure you're thinking about it
Yeah.
all the rest of the time.
That's the thing. I mean, if you count thinking, then it was a lot more than that. If you think about it, trying to figure out solutions to different things, how to make stuff hold together, and then just go and troubleshoot it and troubleshoot whatnot.
What's wow, 6 hours in, I'm already losing questions. That's not good.
So,
I can't unsee the dinosaur butts on the ends of his hands now. Like once you know that's what it is,
That's all it is.
that's all you
Carl,
see.
you do this as a living. Also, you build.
Well, I mean, I've been paid a couple times, but nowhere near actually living off.
So, but you do offer services to
Right,
people
yeah, yeah.
who want you to build sculptures
Mhm.
or do some stuff for events, and what type of things do you do?
Well, so far, I did a big display about it. I think it was about 25,000 part display for a Christmas window display thing in the shopping center in Fresno. And we had like 4 elves and a bunch of toys, and pretty much anything I'd ever built went into that because that was the first thing I did, the first display. And then later the next year I did a pier for my friend's wedding. So that was like for the candy table, and I made this. It's called mini land scale. I don't know if you guys know the different scales or whatnot, but the people are about like that big, and then you scale everything to like kind of a person like that. So the pier was about 4 feet long or so, and maybe about I think it was 14 or 16 inches tall. Had 24 pylons, and then like barnacles and all that kind of stuff. There's pictures on Flickr if you guys want to check it out. Everything's on Flickr.
Yep.
Is there a community? Like, is there a good message board for somebody if you want to get started doing like complex MOCs? Is there a good place for people to go, like good resources and stuff like that for them to get started?
Just to like see what other people are doing,
Or
what do you think?
to ask advice and talk, chat, or is that all moved to like Facebook and Twitter and stuff these days?
Well, actually, as far as I know, I mean, I'm trying to get in the community, but most of the stuff happens on Flickr.
Okay.
That's been ever since I think Brick Shelf kind of was too slow, and then they tried to make one called Mock Pages, and there are a lot of people that use that one. But there's a lot more people on Flickr because it's faster. It's more. I mean, it's supported by Yahoo, so it doesn't. It actually works most of the time.
And you can get nice big high
Right.
resolution pictures. Yeah.
And then when they redesigned it, there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, we're going to leave. We're going to go try something else." But I think there wasn't that many that actually left.
Is your goal to eventually become a Lego certified professional or master model builder?
I don't think, probably not, because as far as I've talked to the other Lego certified professionals, you're kind of limited as to what you can do
With those pieces?
Yeah, by Lego. In some ways, I mean, it's not. I don't know exactly all the ins and outs of everybody, but I'd rather just do it for myself,
Right.
and hopefully do some more stuff for offer hire or whatnot, but not
For
so.
people who don't know, Yeah, Lego certified professionals are the people who are authorized by Lego to buy directly from them in large quantities.
So they can call Denmark and be like, I need 60 million of this weird brick in a specific color?
By hundreds of thousands and hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, but they're not going to be thrilled with you having your a Lego badge on your work if you're making the Breaking Bad meth trick,
Or even if you're
right?
making
Like
horrors from beyond the
follow
universe.
some
the
restrictions.
ancient
yeah.
ones.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's geared towards children, so you want to have not too crazy stuff.
What about selling MOC kits? I know a bunch of people do that.
There are quite a few people that do that. From what I've seen, just kind of in general, the turnover is pretty low, and they have to charge. You have to charge a lot. Like if you're going to put that work into it, and then it's not really the work to design the set as much as it is the work to get all the parts and to get all the packaging and to print everything and all that kind of stuff. So that just kind of becomes this. Could I do it? Yes, but would it be worth it? Maybe. Who knows?
Right. Do you document everything? So, I mean, in terms of like the design, like when you break this Cthulhu down, would you have a way to reassemble it if you needed to?
If I broke it down completely to the part level, no. I don't have any kind of way. I don't usually document like exactly how everything goes together. If there's something that I really like, I'll keep it for a certain amount of years, and then if I've set it up enough times, I get sick of it, and then I just don't even want to have it anymore. And I figure it's going to be more interesting for everyone if I just build more stuff that's different versus keeping the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
What are some of the other recent Lego sets that you've liked? I'm a big fan. I've been staring at that Sydney Opera House for the last few weeks, and I really want to get it, but I feel like I just can't justify it when I've got the backlog that I already have.
You know what's funny is that I want to buy that as well, but I don't even want to build it. It's just the
You just want the parts?
The base is almost entirely dark tan, and I love that color. And I just don't have very much of it, so I would buy it just for the base, pretty much.
That's really funny.
That's
when it goes on sale, or no, that won't go on sale. But when there's a discount days or whatnot, you can do something like that.
And people have like kind of figured out what a good price per piece is, like versus going if you're buying from Bricklink or if you're buying it from a set, and it's around like 10 cents a piece.
Yeah, that's like the rule of thumb. Certain parts will be a lot worse. I mean, like I bought I think 4 or 5 of these raptors.
the little dinosaur.
Yeah, these little guys.
raptor. Yeah.
And that was I think those are like between $9 and $13 per raptor.
That is a lot of money per raptor. Because what are the raptors, like 5 pieces?
Yeah, they're actually pretty decent. That was another thing I was going to talk to you guys about. A lot of people hate these. Like adults that I meet, you see Lego makes the little raptor. They make
Because they're all custom pieces.
Because they're not. They don't really. They're not
right.
Lego.
I mean, that doesn't look like Lego. It's just
you would never
action
you never
figure.
see.
Hold them up where people can see.
So
Yeah,
Lego
I don't know
purists aren't a fan of these custom pieces, right?
Well, even just like
Not. We are not going to be able to get the camera over there, guys.
I can
No, you're
Here
good.
comes Joey.
whatever. You
Sorry,
want to do.
Joey.
We can set them there if you
That's
want
even
to.
better. We're going to put them down here on the floor. What's the bird? Is that from Final Fantasy?
Yeah, it's a chocobo.
I never know how to
pick
pronounce
that up and
those
show it to
because
the
I
camera now.
stopped playing the
sorry.
Final Fantasy before they had voice acting. So
So
it's good to know.
little-
Oh, his head turns. Oh, that's great. He's like cantilevered.
Whoop,
Oh, that's rad. That is fantastic.
That is cool.
So you're going to talk about the Raptor
Yeah,
and
so-
the Rancor rather and the Raptor.
One of the main things that I hear from adults when I'm showing them Lego stuff is they'll always complain to me about how Lego makes too many specialized parts.
Yeah.
And they're like, when I was a kid, they made bricks and we had fun with the bricks. And I'm like, the parts that they make now are amazing. You can do so much with them that you can't do with a brick. Like a lot of the stuff with Cthulhu, this would not look very good if I could only use bricks and plates. It would just be it would be okay.
Very blocky.
But it would be blocky. But like these guys, sorry,
Oh, no, you're
the Rancor here, it looks like basically just an action figure, but you can break these down. And I forget how many pieces are. So it's 2, 4, 6,
fingers
8,
and everything,
10,
yeah.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 pieces.
Yeah, and they're all super weird shaped, and
Right.
and
That's
they wouldn't.
22
Well,
pieces.
so for a Lego cannibal like yourself,
Yeah, so
that's fantastic.
You get the little hand here, and then you can take off the finger,
Yeah,
and then you have the
Oh,
finger,
right.
and then you can take off the claw, and you end up with like this weird.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, so you get the claw off of there, and you have these weird little.
So
you know, all kinds of stuff.
you could come up with any number of applications for that. But I get the point of the people saying like the whole point of Lego is you make stuff out of brick. So when they just give you a Rancor, that kind of feels like a bit of a cheat.
I think the larger, but I think the larger point is that in the old days you would get a Lego set, and it instead of having, hey, here's this thing you can build, you would say, okay, here's some dudes that have spacesuits and stuff like that, and you could then make a space fortress with them, which is great. But I never ever, when I had those toys, would have imagined that you could get to the kind of complexity that you get with, say, the R2D2 UCS or even like the $50 X-wing, the current one that you can go to Toys R Us and pick up. And like just the mechanics of that twist tie with rubber bands holding it together is a really neat mechanism. Yeah. And it teaches kids about all sorts of stuff that's not necessarily, and like you said, if you take that and then apply it to your own creations, and it's a whole, it makes it add value.
It's kind of like building school almost. You learn all the different techniques.
It's one of my favorite moments when you're building a complex, even a relatively complex Lego piece, like the basic X-wing they have now that has, like you said, the rubber bands for the X-foils.
Right.
There is that moment. I guess there's a lot of satisfaction putting the bricks together, but there's also that great kind of eureka moment when you go, oh, I understand what they did here and how this works. It's really ingenious, and just the cleverness of the engineering of it becomes evident. It's just a nice moment when that happens.
There's actually a book, the Lego Technic Builder's Guide, No Starch Press does.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite Lego books out of any Lego books, because most Lego books will show you how to build something, general building techniques or whatnot. This one shows you how to build like engineering mechanisms out of Technic, and there's all these crazy things you can build out of Technic that they've figured out that are just insane and just really small, like little offset couplings and all kinds of other little things like that. That they've designed parts to almost do it, and then there's like other ones like the transmissions and whatnot where they have the parts actually built to do that. It's just nuts how much complexity can be in there.
Well, with the number, I mean, there's thousands and thousands of pieces at this point. And like with the pieces you have, the mechanisms are like almost endless if people apply themselves to them.
What do you work on next?
What am I working on next? I had an idea.
Oh no, it's okay.
I had an idea and then I forgot what it was.
Saving it.
Are you familiar at all with the Bricked series and Will and Norm's attempts?
No, don't bring this
We're
up.
gonna get this. We're gonna
because I feel like that's where this is all inevitably going, right?
Yeah. So Will, you're asking.
I was going to ask Quinion in the chat wants to know about the new gray and the old gray. I don't know about this. I'm interested.
New gray, old gray. So right around the time, I think it was like the second year of the UCS Star Destroyer, they changed the gray colors. Just across the board, decided that the gray colors did not have enough blue in them.
Okay.
So they reduced the amount of
both dark gray and light gray.
Yeah, dark gray and light gray together. So and then they did the browns later. But so basically, you end up having two colors. So like, I don't think these have any. No, there's a little bit of old light gray on the bottom here. I don't know if you can tell the difference.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I can see it.
So this
it is lighter.
That's
it looks
old.
like.
Yeah, it looks kind of yellowed, and then the new one is more bluish, kind of like a gunmetal. And people were really mad about that because now if you have a split collection between the two colors, you'll have 5 parts in one color, 5 parts in the other color, and then you won't be able to build something with all the same color. And it was really annoying to me when I first started because it became like they quit making one color and started making another color, so you end up not having enough of the new color to build anything until years later when you've amassed a bunch of it. So now I don't care, and I actually tend to use the new gray more because I have actually more new gray parts than all the gray parts.
Okay, so we have a contest.
Yes,
we don't have very much time left.
History of doing a contest. A year and a half ago, Will and I did a build off where we both built UCS kits. Will built the UCS Death Star play set, and I built the UCS Superstar Destroyer over a span of 30 days, and it was a race. And
that's what happened right there.
Here's
the
conclusion. The exciting conclusion.
This was not. You may want to look away.
It's horrible.
That's okay.
And then
right on the
both
floor,
kits were rebuilt. I rebuilt mine
within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours.
No, only one of them was rebuilt in 20. The Death Star
I
took
rebuilt
forever.
the Superstar Destroyer in
Still
24
missing
hours.
pieces, by the way. Your Star Destroyer has extra pieces
so
in there.
it lives in my living room. Everything is all right.
It was ugly to watch, though. I mean, there was the sport. It
was horrible.
All concepts
Your
of
Lego
fair
is
play and
safe,
sportsmanship.
Carl.
Yeah, that's
don't worry.
I'm
Nothing's
sweating
gonna happen
now.
To that. So, in the spirit of building competitively, we didn't want to build a race this time.
We did
Later
that
on,
last year.
It's a 24-hour
last year,
podcast.
what did you do? Like Minecraft
We did
sets?
Minecraft. Will won at the very end.
It was just a race. It wasn't very exciting.
Will didn't win at the very end. I dominated through the entire thing.
No,
let's
if
be
rewatch-
real.
I think Norm had one of those moments where, like, halfway through, he realized that he had, like, 5 steps ago, he had made a serious
He
problem.
collapsed at
needed to
midnight.
unbuild.
No, the trick was
5
Will
a.m.
sorted. I didn't sort. And at the very end, the sorting helped
Yeah, it'll give you a little bit.
I'm going to announce the challenge this
So
year.
this year, I think it's a more interesting challenge. Using, I think, one of the more interesting new Lego sets.
And I just got
yes.
the Lego Studio architecture set.
That was an appraising oh yes.
I'm gonna
Yeah, Joey gives us the shot. There's no way I can get this over
there
here.
it is. It's an architecture set. This is basically
I'm not going to touch
a mystery box. Well, you know exactly what's in it, but it's an open-ended box. Like you can see, it's
Good move,
1,210 pieces. In the midnight hour, sometime early in the morning.
It's 5 a.m. is what 6 a.m. we're blocked for right
6
now.
a.m. For
So
1 hour, Will and I are going to take
11 hours from
pieces
now.
from this box and try to build something creative and artistic. Could be architecture sounds like a reasonable thing to do with the architecture set.
We'll start with each of us getting 10
50
for every $1,000 that we've raised so far.
Okay, so for every $1,000 we've raised so far by then, we each get 10 pieces.
Right. And then Norm and I will each pick a charity of our own, and the third charity, if people donate to, will get. We'll both get pieces. If they donate to one of our charities or the other, then we'll get one of us will get the piece, but the other person won't. So it's a popularity contest. Just to be clear,
much like the Hunger Games, inspired by
Lego Hunger Games.
Lego Hunger Games. We're looking for sponsors through the form of charity. So if I choose Electronic Frontier Foundation, every $2 you donate to the EFF in that 1 hour period, I will get one extra piece to build to my creative
but
set.
don't donate. If you save. So keep a little reserve is what we're saying. Hold a little bit back, because you're going to want to give to me. We haven't decided which charities are which.
We haven't decided yet.
Right, or
also,
both of us if you like us both equally.
Also, you have to use all the pieces.
Oh, interesting.
And Gary's going to decide at the end of the hour who made the best creation.
I think what's interesting is, first of all, I love the Lego architecture series. Like I said, this was my gateway back into Lego. I think they did a very smart job of marketing these kits. Like they're more palatable for adults than might otherwise think, oh, Lego's kind of for kids, right? But he's building these great world landmarks. It's very cool. But what they've done now with the studio kit is encouraging you to create your own architecture. And so rather than this just be a race to finish a pre-built design, you guys are going to have to get creative and
we don't have to build something architectural. We can build whatever we want.
You can build whatever you want.
Going with a penis, guys.
Whatever it may be, you're going to be. This is going to be more about artistic merit. How interesting can you create something with a certain time limit, rather than who can just race
they would truly be
first.
my own creations on both Will and my part, which is why I wanted to have Carl take a look at the pieces in here, and maybe give some tips, some words of advice.
We are bingo on time, Norm, unfortunately. So you'll have to get inspiration from your own heart instead of from someone else. Carl,
do you think distribution is good? Do you think? Yeah.
He made a face and shook his head. Oh, you're boned, Chan.
There's like I don't know, 24 ones that I like in here. Maybe there's some cheese in there. Okay, so there's
what's cheese?
These little
no, don't tell them what the good ones are.
Those ones. Get those ones.
Oh, those are good. Okay,
yeah,
good to know.
And I if you want to build anything that's not square, you're gonna have to get those round ones.
Go
for
the round ones.
I go for round ones myself.
So even though this is an architecture set, you're not bound to create some kind of architectural building or anything? Okay.
No.
I thought I was going to take that home.
So, no consolation prize today. Carl Merriam, Brick. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
One more thing, real quick. I brought something for you guys.
Ooh.
In my Lego bag.
Oh, wow. What's in here?
The magic bag.
What's in the bag?
I like that the bag is impressive enough on its own.
Oh, that's red.
That
oh my God.
is awesome.
It's very
Okay,
cool.
I'm putting it in the spot. That is fantastic, Carl.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Where did you get this color orange?
It's just a regular orange.
I know. I can't ever. I've tried to get the orange
it's
before. It's
perfect
expensive.
representation.
Oh, that's super cool.
Now, did you have all the parts in stock for that?
Yes. I built that Tuesday night.
Because those look like they're all pretty standard parts.
Yeah, it's mostly squares.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so
Carl,
much,
please,
Carl.
your website and your Flickr, if you want to give a shout out.
Oh, it's bricklaboratory.com, and then Flickr is Carl Merriam. That's my name.
And you sign your pieces, right? You have this little kind of CM brick logo on the back here.
Custom printed by printabrick.com. That's the only.
So that's like your artist's signature.
Yep.
That is super cool, Carl. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming up from Fresno and bringing your stuff to show us. As always, and guys, go out and hit Kusu and let's get 10,000 on 10,000 votes on Carl's
If you're not going
microscope.
to donate to charity,
Yeah.
at least submit your email and vote up for the microscope.
The working microscope.
The working microscope on Kusu.
Well, thank you so much, Carl. We're going to switch back to the studio cam while we help Carl get Lego out of here, so you guys can get back on your way. But thank you so much. It was great to meet you, sir.
Nice meeting you.
That was excellent.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
very much. Very interesting.
So that marks the end of the 7th hour of Oktoberkast. How are you guys doing right now? How are you
dark
feeling?
outside?
Are you going to keep this, or is this some kind of giveaway?
Oh,
What are we going to do?
for the office?
Oh, but
Keep
this
that
is
for the
this is
office.
going on the wall,
That's
guys.
too good. I think
There's
that's
no
too,
way we're giving that away.
That's too good to give away, I think.
Wow.
That is rad, Carl.
It's
This
like
is
the
still
perfect,
plugged in,
like,
Joey.
you look at like the T here, and it's like the right length, and
Yeah.
it's real clever. 'cause
There's
it's
a lot of
it's
craft.
like a-
Oh,
there's a lot of
dude, it is-
craftsmanship in
Back.
that.
That is absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
That is excellent.
So-
How long did it take you to do that piece?
3
3
hours.
hours. So coming up next, we have Brad Muir from DoubleFine Productions, home of Broken Sword,
What? Broken sword?
Iron Brigade.
Are we gonna make sure that Carl's
And,
help?
I'm going to get something to drink.
Do you need
Carl,
a
do you
hand?
need a hand, Carl? He's done. He looks like he's done this
Man,
before.
that is amazing.
Is that not
Isn't that
rad?
cool? Lego Cthulhu.
That's so amazing. What?
So,
That's pretty rad.
so I am in awe of the Lego pulls. That was it. I'm glad you met Carl at Bricks by the Bay.
You want a seasonal Kit Kat?
Yeah. Do
Halloween
I?
Special?
Do I? Boy, howdy.
Bricks by the Bay is when in like Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend.
It's in the summer. It's later August.
So
It was
August
August
someplace.
this year. It was earlier last year.
Okay. But it's there's Lego events like that. Gary, go around behind me the other way, please. There's I don't want you to trip over cables and hurt yourself. There's Lego events like that around the country all the time. So like just
That
keep an
sounds
eye
amazing.
on your like local Craigslist and whatever to find
I
out
would
when
go
that
to
stuff
that.
is. Oh, it's super cool. Yeah. Like they're
Go to that. This is incredible.
Isn't
I was
that-
just watching that. Can you turn me down? I'm a little hot.
You're a little loud.
I'm a little loud
Modest,
in my
too.
earballs.
You have better ears than the rest of the
yeah,
people. over
awesome.
here.
That's perfect.
Is that good?
That's perfect. Yeah.
Did I actually turn you down or did you turn me down?
Yeah. No. I
Okay.
think you got it. I think you got it. What does orange chocolate taste like?
It's white chocolate that's been dyed orange.
Oh man! Somebody
Total-
told me that white chocolate is not chocolate.
It's cocoa butter. Yeah, it's
All right,
it's-
I'm gonna eat
white
it
chocolate
anyway.
is full of lies. Brad Muir, welcome to Oktobercast.
Hey man, thanks for having
Is this
me.
your third appearance on
I think
Oktobercast? Are
only
you
my
a
second.
threezy?
I think I'm just two.
I feel like a bunch of Double Fine folks maybe crashed the first year
I
after
would-
the
I-
launch party for Costume Quest.
I
or
would believe
Stacked
that.
Or
I would
Stacking or
believe
something.
that. Yeah.
How
It's
you-
funny that everyone called it stacked.
Well, that's a
Stacking.
different game.
It's that. Yeah, stacked is.
Yeah, Stacked is
Something else.
I still used to subscribe. So it's a family show this year. We're
Oh
trying-
yeah.
no,
Okay. Good.
Absolutely not.
No, it's not.
No, it's never.
Are
we-
people? How many people are
not
watching
capable.
this?
I don't know. We had a few
1,900
thousand
people on YouTube right now.
and then there were
1,900.
another
Nice.
500 or 600 on.
Hey
Justin
to everybody
TV.
out there. Hey,
So you've been busy this year.
this has been a like totally crazy year for me. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm on a talk show now. It's awesome.
Well,
Yeah, Will Smith. Oh, it's been a crazy year.
You haven't been to this office
Totally.
before?
you've not been here before, have you?
I've been here.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just
Oh, you're
saying the
here-
way that this
yeah.
this conversation was headed.
You know, it's.
I feel you make me feel special,
Ed
like I'm a
McMahon scooched
celebrity.
over and
Yeah.
well, you know,
Yeah.
it's that kind of show, right? You guys are just down the street from us here, right?
Yeah, dude, I just walked over. We're like 2 blocks from here.
That's terrible.
I won't tell you what
That's-
direction.
No, don't do that.
I won't tell you what
okay,
direction.
So what do you eat for food? Because that's very important.
Yeah.
For lunch.
Pro tips.
Oh man, you got me. Why?
You don't eat lunch.
No, I really like Victor's. You go to Victor's?
No.
It's like, it's a good taco. It's a decent taco.
Is it away from us or?
Yeah, it's away. It's the other direction. All the food that we go to is in the other direction. It's away from
That's what
you.
everybody always says.
I know. Yeah. Primo Patio is really good.
That's
Don't-
another
don't-
direction too.
Yeah, that's like right next door. Everything is that direction, man. They just opened an umami burger over there.
That's
Really, an umami burger?
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
like
a lot of people are excited about that.
it was weird. Like the burger joint closed down.
The burger
and
joint
then
wasn't very good.
Became an umami burger, and we were wondering like, is it the same person?
You think
like
they just flipped it?
They were like, yeah, we're gonna get out of this one, and like, we're gonna upgrade our franchise or something. I don't know.
We've ridden burger joint as far as we
yeah,
can.
yeah, this is it. And somebody said maybe that was their plan all along.
Did umami burger even exist when they opened that burger joint? It's been there for a long time.
It has actually.
I think
I don't
Burger
know.
Joint is okay.
How long is?
Burgermeister is overrated.
I like Burgermeister.
I thought Umami Burger has been around for a long time.
It's in
LA.
Or not.
and then
In LA, yeah.
Santa Monica location's been there for a while.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
too pricey for what you get.
Burgermeister.
Yeah. We're starting wars about burgers.
Hey man, if you're not gonna start
Burgers
with
are important.
might as well.
Super
Why
duper
not?
burger.
It's either that or God. So the Burgermeister coasted for a long time on the novelty of being able to order a burger and get beer at the same time. Because I think that was the first time I went into like what was essentially a fast food place.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Would you like a beer?" I was like,
Yes.
Yes, beer and a burger is delicious. Why would you not have
Yeah.
that?
Totally. I would do that. I'm doing that right now.
You have a burger?
No, I don't. I wish.
Wish you
Where
had
did
a
we get the
burger.
burgers
That'd be
from
great.
that first year we did?
Super
October?
duper.
Super duper
Yeah.
burger. That's pretty
Love
good.
That's a good burger.
That
That's
might
a
have
good
been
burger.
last year.
It's like a fast food burger place, but totally great.
Yeah.
Now
it's fine.
I've come pretty close now, just because I feel like I've got to at least try it. Pretty close to going to Five Guys, but I feel like I'm going to regret it.
Wait, where's the Five Guys?
Is it
Is there
Tan-
one around
Tan-
here?
That's Burlingame.
I'm not going to Burlingame
One
for
in
that.
Tanfran Mall. also.
Really?
Yeah, there's one in the Tanfran Mall.
Second floor.
That's the one that we've
All
come
right.
close to going to a couple of times.
I've heard they're really good.
I've
I've heard that it's really greasy and just not great.
It is food for if you eat Five Guys regularly, you probably hate yourself. Is the way I look at it. It's that greasy and good.
I'm trying. That's the thing. I've been trying
there's
to not
less of you
do
now.
that. Yeah. I like.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks. I feel kind of weird about it.
I didn't
I'll
want to
tell
bring
you
it up,
the,
but you mentioned
no. I'll
it
tell you the
first.
secret now. You ready?
Eat less.
Yeah. My fiance and I we joined Weight Watchers,
really.
and I feel weird about it because see that's the thing.
How many
That
points?
seems very 90s.
This is it is right, but it totally works, and it's basically just eat vegetables. Don't not eat vegetables. Eat vegetables instead of other
vegetables
things.
are free.
Yeah,
There's
and like,
0 points.
and that's hilarious. That's awesome that you know that. That's actually exactly how it works, and it's basically a gamified way to get you to eat vegetables.
I mean,
that's what it is.
and
And like, you know what? If you eat vegetables, you will lose weight.
It is. When
That's
they
how
went
it
when they
works.
went to the point system, it's basically the gamification of dieting.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but I do think that it works because like I don't even track anymore. I just feel like it. I just eat differently now.
So what are
That's
you
it.
paying for when you do that?
What?
What are you paying for?
So when we did it, it was like we didn't go to meetings or whatever. It's like you just
Hi,
pay
my
like
name's Brad.
no.
I've been eating
I didn't
since
do
I
that.
was 0 months old.
Yeah, I've been eating for a long time.
It's good that we just made fun of. Yeah, sorry, everybody out there.
This is great. I don't know. This is weird. I feel weird about it because of the whole like genderification of it. You know, it's
Weight
like
Watchers?
yeah, because like for when women are on Weight Watchers, it's all like it's like yay, like we're doing it together, and it's all like super supportive and everybody's excited.
I just thought it was an archaic
But
concept.
I feel like when I'm like, hey, I'm a dude and I'm like doing it, it's like there's this weird like I don't want to tell anybody about it. I feel like really
you got to get it out there, man. You're doing the
I
world
know.
a favor.
I,
Like,
feel,
this-
I feel
curves?
like I'm like
he's not. We're not welcome in curves.
I'm like,
Oh,
I don't
really?
want-
Is that
no, it's
gender-
ladies
I don't
only.
want to talk about it because I feel like people make fun of me.
Well, but
and
it's
they
a-
have.
So here's the thing: is if you never learned how to eat healthily, then however you learn how to do it is okay in my book. Like
Yeah.
Like if it's that you have the Weight Watchers and do the gamification stuff. It's if you read a couple of books and you're like, oh, if you put your calories you eat into an iPhone app and are
Yeah,
like,
there's like so many different
Yeah.
ways to do it, right? It's like it's just about changing your mindset about like what the hell you are putting into your body. It's weird.
well, but the thing you said is important because once you do it for a while, once you know that, oh, if I go to Five Guys and have a milkshake that's 700 calories any way you cut it,
Yeah.
and that's half to a third of what I should be eating a day, it changes. Like
It does F with your mind when you look at some of those, especially I don't know when that was. That was several years ago when they forced like chains and stuff to
Yeah.
put the calorie information on the
Yeah.
stuff, and you look at it and you're like, this is 3,000 calories
Yeah.
if you were to
How
eat
is that
like
physically possible?
You're like
Yeah.
you're like if you were to eat a whole bloomin' onion, like it would
Your
be
heart
like,
just stops.
It would be like 2 days of food. That's
Yeah.
like what that is, and you're just like, how? What?
And what's
That's
worse
totally
is that
crazy.
they still put it on the menu.
Yeah, and they're
It's
like
you know what?
yeah.
Well,
Point of
peop-
pride.
That shit.
Point of pride. 5,000 calories.
but I mean, once
totally crazy.
once you get a good feel for it, then you don't have to track it as closely.
Yeah, and it can just become. It just feels like the new normal.
Yeah.
and it's cool. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird because it's definitely difficult. It's a weird, hard thing for a lot of people, and I don't know. I was definitely in a place where I was eating too much food.
Well, in your
also
industry,
living
it's
in San
tough,
Francisco,
right?
damn, there's like so much amazing food
Yeah.
everywhere you look that it's like really easy to just be like, I'm gonna
They
eat
park
all
in
this
trucks
food
on the side
yeah,
of the road.
be like, this truck is going to give me a chicken fried sandwich.
Yeah.
And be like, I'll have one of those.
I have 2 fried
And
chicken
some
sandwiches a year
and
now.
some chips, and yeah, now it's like, oh,
Yeah.
So there are some sad things about it, but overall, it's better.
Well, and you learn to make salads and stuff like that are quite happy making.
Yep.
So so yeah, well,
It's
okay,
good.
good talk, Brad. We'll
yeah.
see you next year, man.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
So eat vegetables is basically like that's it. That's it, man.
DoubleFine
Eat
Studios
vegetables.
says
Yeah,
eat vegetables.
vegetables.
Are you guys going to do a Weight Watchers MMO? Is that what's coming next?
I was thinking about it. Really inspired by the gamified concepts
gamify
that I'm
that.
seeing there. Gamification is a weird thing, man.
There was a real popular, real
It like
trendy
went
for a little
everywhere,
while.
and now it's like there's a backlash about it, and people are like
it was like
weirded out about
it was like on the what's hot list one week, and then like it's not the hot list.
You're
the
saying it
next
went from
one. Like,
wired
it's really
to
not.
tired
wired to
overnight?
tired very quickly.
It kind of did, because I don't know. People just grabbed a hold of that thing and just tried to. It was like bacon. They tried to put it on everything. You know.
I hate when they do that. Just
And
eat
then-
bacon.
They
Bacon's
just,
just good.
they just try to gamify everything, and I feel like a lot of it did become a hot buzzword, and there were a lot of like startups formed around the concept and whatever. And it's like at the heart of it, I think it's a pretty good concept. It's just like when you add all these like biz dev douchey terms onto it, and you get all these like pop collared
it
guys
does really
talking
work,
about
though,
gamification.
Like, to go back to like the health thing,
just-
if you like people that have Fitbits, they get really into
Yeah.
like, hitting their milestones, and
Yep.
they're in competition with people on their Facebook friends
Totally.
list. Like
It absolutely works.
It totally works.
One of the coolest things that I heard about it, because I got one of those fuel bands. It broke, but I had it for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
But
good.
it kind
was
of
like,
gives you
it
an
was like $100
arbitrary
bucks.
thing.
Yeah, it has like its own metric, but you kind of, it was my sort of like, hey, maybe you should not play Dota for like, 8 hours. Maybe you should
So
get
you're
up
off the
and
Dota is what you're
no,
saying?
no, I'm totally still on the Dota, but just I have those days occasionally where it's like,
Dota is a sometimes
playing Dota for a long time, and then like looking at the fuel, and you're like, wow, like I have like
So then you just
yeah.
going,
That's not
Dota!
The Nike Fuel Band is not registering your APMs.
no, it's not. That's the thing.
If
I don't
only
think
if
that-
only it did.
You need rings.
I should have put it on my right wrist for when I'm
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
for when I'm
For when you're playing
Yeah.
Dota.
for when I'm doting,
when you're
right?
clicking away.
When
Yeah.
I'm doting. But yeah, it was definitely a good tool for me just to sort of be like, wow, it's like I have done nothing today, and maybe I should like go for a walk.
We put our Fitbit.
And get a bacon sandwich.
We put the Fitbit on the baby.
That's
to
a
see
good
what
move.
would happen.
Yeah.
And
What happened?
She maxed out the number of steps per day that you're supposed to do in like an hour for a whole day, because the baby is just like a fucking pinball going off.
A
just
little
everywhere.
dynamo.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Very active.
I have the Watch Pocket Fitbit. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $50.
Wait, did you say watch pocket?
It goes in the watch pocket of your jeans.
Oh, nice. Okay. That
It
makes
also
sense.
now my jeans have a mark where it's like
Where it
worn
is, yeah.
down.
That's-
So it's like remember the kids who had the pack of Skull and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
from
yeah.
the South?
That looks like a little Tamagotchi.
yeah,
That's
it's
so
pretty much
gross.
that size. But
It is.
I think
Does it have a
battery might be
little? Does
dead.
it have a little animal? Has a little?
It has a smileless, just like the normal Fitbit. It doesn't have the leaf in the tree though.
doesn't.
No,
It doesn't have a little Pikachu in there.
with no Pikachu's. I wish
Or
I could
like
put
a
my,
Tamagotchi?
If I could put my Pikachu in there, then all bets would be off. I don't think they do that anymore, do they? Are you into the
I don't know.
Pokemons?
No, you know what? My younger brother is into Pokemon, and I've like never really played
Is
it.
this a generational
I
thing?
feel like it is a generational
I've
thing.
I've
Like,
never played it.
I think it's people that are under 30 right now. That's your target.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
I know people over 30 that really.
there's
Yeah.
some. I feel like they're kind of outliers though. I feel like the core Pokemon, like man, it was strong. The Pokemon pull on my younger brother was like, and it was like life imprinting.
Was it card
Like, he
games
will-
too then, or
he
was
will
it
be a
just-
Pokemon fan forever. There was something about like being in that target market. I think when it hit so hard, and it's just like, man, those people will play Pokemon until they die.
Yeah,
So-
some people are lifers.
So
Yeah.
Like, you see,
I-
like X and Y comes out, and people are talking about, oh, they changed this thing from like 6 generations of Pokemon ago. Like, oh, wow, you've been into this for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, I know people who've ported their Pokemon from the first game, and I think you can go all the way through the current
That is
one, right?
incredible.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that they were like supporting
I think
it
that
to
they
that
do
level.
that, yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't know if they can do. I don't know if they made the jump. I assume they made the jump from GBA to DS.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
they
yeah.
made the jump from DS to 3DS. But I mean, it's bananas.
That seems nuts to me that you could actually take.
The chat will tell me if I'm
stuff
wrong.
from that.
So I bought.
I'm sure there are some Pokemons and
I know.
Pokemon fans. I'm sorry. I would never call you a Pokemon.
Shenstra says he's 29, and was just the right age to get balls deep in red blue.
That's what I'm talking about, right there.
Very
That's what I'm talking
colorful
about.
language.
There's this like this age group that man they got drilled by the Pokemon. like yeah.
Pokemon took him out to the woodshed. Is what you're
That
saying?
was it. Yeah.
I bought Pearl or White, one of those when that
Yeah,
came out.
did it make sense to you when you like were playing it?
So
You're
there
like,
was Diamond and Pearl.
Diamond and Pearl.
Black and
I bought
white.
Diamond because Diamond was
and
better
then
than
red
Pearl.
and green.
I feel
right?
like I played a little bit of it just to sort of like, yeah, okay, sure. It's like it's turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
It's like you're collecting stuff, you're leveling them up. I get it, but like a lot of the mechanics felt very, very old school Final Fantasy
Yeah.
to me and stuff. And it's like I don't know if they've updated a lot of that stuff. So it's like, you know, it's like if you weren't like super invested in it, and it's like that. Those are things you can't really change as well, right? Like I feel like you can't like super modernize.
Explain. It seems very clever. I just don't understand it. Explain to me. Hopefully, you're able to do the mechanic of when they bring out a new Pokemon game. They bring them out in pairs. Like, what's the point of that? How does that work?
From how I understand it, it has to do with trading. There's like,
Yeah.
I believe there's one that is exclusive to
Each one has-
either cart, right?
Yeah.
And then I think there are different flavors of Pokemon or whatever. It basically encourages you to trade with people who have the other one.
But
That's
are they
like the big
are
thing.
they two different games?
They're
or
the
are
same game.
They're the same
just
game
with a few
just
different-
some like data changes,
Okay,
right?
so,
it's like,
so unless you are super duper hardcore, it wouldn't make sense to buy both.
In
Correct.
order for you to
Yeah.
catch them all, you have to trade some of your Pokemon. What are they now? Black and white?
I
Is that
think
where
they're
we're at?
X's and Y's.
X's
is
and
where
Ys.
we're at. Yeah.
So you have
But
to
there are
trade
people
some
that
of your
will trade
ex-Pokemon.
Pokemons with themselves, right? I mean, they're with
there
their
have
two
to be.
3DSs.
I don't know.
I don't want
There
to hang out
have
with those people.
What? My
Filthy masturbatory Pokemon traders.
My wife has considered getting a second copy of Animal Crossing so that she can trade things.
Now-
with
now
herself.
that
oh my
I can
God,
get
that's
behind.
excessive.
So the weird thing. So I've been playing X or
Yeah.
Y, whichever
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I think I got Y because I figured I'm a dude. I got a Y chromosome. Might
That
as well
makes-
lean into
that
it.
makes a lot of
you,
sense.
but you would buy X and then hopefully, like, if we were both into Pokemon, we
Yeah.
would make a deal. I'll get X,
Yeah,
you get
yeah,
Y.
you totally would.
Okay.
But
And
I think
people
it's
do that
only
all
like
the
the
time.
crazy high level ones that matter anyway.
Yeah, I don't.
'Cause, like,
I don't
everybody
think
gets
that's
Pikachu.
for casuals. I heard
Yeah.
that there's like an incentive for trading them, and they level up faster if you got it from
Yeah, I
somebody
think-
else
I
or
think that's
something.
true.
Like there's some incentive to like let you. Yeah.
So, in much the same way that Animal Crossing, though, still has all the rough Nintendo edges that have been with that game since the very beginning, like the text speed is really
Yes,
slow and
yes.
annoying shit like that.
Yep.
They've modernized. It seems like they've changed some of the Pokemon stuff and added some new stuff to it, but it is still has a lot of the rough, like
It's totally gonna have some like
fucking battle
archaic
animations.
things in
Yeah.
there. You know that it's like you can't change it because people would get like super upset. And I mean, you know, this is my like putting my douchey business hat on or whatever.
business
I've
guy
been-
Brad Muir.
Okay, over the last like 3
What's your
years
P&L sheet
or
look
whatever.
like today,
oh God,
Brad?
I hate you. Don't.
What's the ARPU?
you can't. Just stop
I know all these
saying them.
words.
Stop saying
I don't
the
know what they
terms.
mean.
Stop saying them. I've been exposed to like the sort of gritty and like I'm not
The
saying
dirty
I'm an
numbers
expert.
side, yeah.
I'm not saying I'm an expert, but like I have been exposed to things like P&L sheets and ARPUs and all this like crazy
You're
shit.
saying magic words now.
And it's the worst, and it's the absolute worst because like I just want to make video games, man. Like I just want to make video games, but guess what? Like the people who make video games need to eat, so there you go. Like that's how it works.
You can make one and not know about that stuff, but if
Yeah.
you're not going to make that second one
yeah.
without that.
Yeah. So like with a franchise, basically is where I'm going with this. Like with a franchise, like you're strongly disincentivized to actually change things because you already have all these people, especially when you're talking about the third one. You know, you've already proven that you can like make one, you can make another one, and all those people showed up to play it again, and maybe it even grew. Now you're going to make the third one, like you're not going to change stuff. Like, and it's weird because sometimes the hardcore fans actually want to see it sort of
Yeah.
evolve and change and whatever. But I don't know. There's just like it's so hard to like reimagine that stuff. And fortunately for myself, I've never had to actually do this because it requires insane success and building a franchise video game. And then you have this problem. It's a good problem to have.
Give it time, Brad.
I've never had this problem, so maybe one day.
But once,
not
once
today.
you are into like franchise series territory, that's the problem, right? How do you continue to iterate and keep it fresh, but also keep it the same?
It's
'Cause
really difficult.
People want the same, but they also want to feel like it's something new at the same time.
Yeah, it's
Maybe make your characters memorable, but not necessarily have the linchpin be the gameplay.
So
I mean, do they
I think
introduce
that's-
new kinds of Pokemon each game? Is that what they
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I think,
There are
man.
probably thousands
I'm
of
no
Pokemon.
expert,
It's
but
not
there's
150 anymore.
a shitload of Pokemon. I believe that's the official number that
Can we-
Nintendo will sell you.
Can we get shitload of Pokemon?
I mean, yeah,
trending on
how many distinct Pokemons are there in the
Twitter?
bestiary?
Oh, you know what? This is in
Oh,
Wolfram
man.
Alpha.
I love
Siri can tell you.
I love the.
How many Pokemon are there?
Oh my goodness.
Is Wolfram
I
Alpha
hope
going to
she
know
nails
that?
it.
Wolfram is
Here's
now
what I found on
has
the web.
tapped into the Pokedex.
754 Pokemon.
Holy shit!
That's,
I knew it.
That's not as many as I.
That doesn't.
would have
I don't
No,
think
that-
that's right.
That doesn't
That's a
sound
lot.
like that
That's
many.
still a lot.
That's a lot.
It
no,
started with 150.
I think it was 150, and then they add like
Yeah.
100 each time. That could totally be the number.
That's not a lot of biodiversity.
Are there like Pokemon that could turn into like furniture now?
I don't know if they've
I
gone
think
to that.
there's one that turns into like a radiator
I-
or like a
I-
washing machine.
I think
We're
they're
gonna get
probably
so
out
much
of
trouble
ideas.
on this talk.
How are people?
It just becomes
I
Transformers.
wish I was a Pokemon expert. I'm coming on here as like video game guy, and it's like I don't know anything about Pokemon.
How
Someone-
tall is
I-
Batman,
let me-
Brad Muir?
How tall
Thank
is
you for
Batman?
That's been there for like 3 hours,
Yeah,
and
that was
it's
weird.
been bothering me.
I don't know where that came from. There was a weird like.
it's a Chloe
I
hair.
should also. This is not a This is. Yeah, I mean, you are streaming this, but people are
It's
going to listen to
live.
it, right?
Yeah, it's archived.
Yeah,
Are you going to talk shit
okay.
about Xbox again this year?
No. What?
Last year you came in
No.
hard about. You were only here for like 30
No.
minutes, and you
I
came
would
in
not.
hot and
I would
heavy
not do that.
about. yeah.
There was a hair on this microphone.
It was
I'm
a
trying to-
dog hair.
For the people that are not
Oh.
watching
Can you turn
this,
my
you know.
earphones down just a little
Yeah, of
bit?
course.
Everyone is super loud.
Maybe you're just getting tired.
That might be me.
What?
Sorry.
You're getting tired.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just.
What video games are you guys playing right now?
I-
You're playing. You're all up into the Nintendo action. It sounds like your 3DS is like.
I got hard
Your
onto
thing.
Legend of Zelda for a while because I was excited about the new
new Wind Waker
Adventures
one?
to Link Cell. No, well, I love Wind Waker. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
like with the baby in the house. My time for games is
Yeah.
relatively limited, so I'll
Oh,
probably play
man.
Wind Waker in March, like when I have no new stuff.
Sure.
But I've been playing GTA, which is I don't generally like GTA games. Like I like
I play.
GTA 3.
I think I've played half of every
That's
single
it.
GTA game.
Yeah.
That's it. I just like. I sort of reach this point where I can't. I don't know. I just don't want to come back to it anymore, and I don't really know why. Because I'm always like excited when they come out, and have no problem like picking them up right away, and then something. I don't know.
Well, they usually build really good worlds, and then either the characters kind of don't like. GTA 4, Nico was this guy who was trying to get out of being a criminal, and then you just
Yeah.
played a fucking raving psychopath throughout the city. I mean, maybe that was just me.
No,
There's always
that's-
this weird
I think
dichotomy.
That's most people. I think
Yeah.
that's most people.
And I got bored of all the weird, like every time they force you to do something, like in San Andreas when you had to go to the gym and work out, or else you couldn't run fast, stuff like that. I got tired of that.
Yeah.
That stuff's all gone. It seems like.
It does seem like they scaled that. Yeah, because there was a lot of the kind of like your buddies calling you up, and you had to like
Yeah.
maintain those relationships in 4, where
I
you'd be
don't-
like, I gotta go play pool with this
Yeah.
guy because he's really sad.
I used to like
what?
Nico,
super weird.
it's the Roman. Let's go to the titty bar. Titties, titties, titties. I would always go.
That's pretty
That
good.
didn't feel like a chore to me at all.
But that was the best. Like when you got the phone call, you're like, "Oh, it's Roman! I
yeah,
love
it's
Roman!"
the
That was the best part of
Roman.
it.
Nico. I used to love him. He was
Yeah.
great.
Somebody brought this up. I don't know if people have talked about this. I don't even know how accurate it was. But my friend Jeff at work, he was like, "Oh, it's cool that the 3 character thing that they have. It's sort of like different archetypes and sort of different characters that
Yeah.
they portrayed like throughout the GTA games. Where like, you know, the first one was sort of like just a psychopath. So they're like, yeah, Trevor is like your psychopath guy, whatever." And then the Vice City
City,
dude
yep.
is very much the like Michael character.
Yeah.
And then the San Andreas dude is very much like the Franklin character. And it's just weird. It's kind of
So
cool that
racist.
I guess
It's just
that
'cause
is
he's
racist,
black,
isn't it?
Brandon?
Also, I'm
And
like,
Italian for
I'm
Michael.
super bummed that they like, you know, they choose to make a GTA game with 3 main characters and not one of them is a woman. Like that is such a huge missed opportunity because it's a way to, you know, I mean, they say
So-
there's all these figures and stats about like games with female leads like sell less than others, and that it's like.
But they
a
could have hidden it
thing.
in there.
And I feel like they
Yeah.
could have like slid it in there in a way that was like really interesting and tasteful, and also didn't like, you know, would also not like have their shareholders like come down on them with these statistics and stuff, and they like totally failed. It's 2 white guys and a black guy. Like I don't know.
I bet if they did,
Like
I-
Norm,
DLC.
you should have been the third one,
DLC. That's
right?
right.
We should have an Asian guy,
Yeah. I could have
Oh.
all the car washes.
an African American woman, and
okay.
I don't know.
And the white dude.
And a white guy.
An Italian. Let's
Maybe
ethnic
not
it
a
up
white
little
guy.
bit.
Like, what would it have looked like if they just didn't have a white guy in it? I don't know.
They'd sell like 50 million copies again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, right. That's the thing too. It's like how badly. We were talking about franchise stuff. Like, how badly could you really screw it up?
I think
I don't know.
that Bully 2 is going to star a woman.
Yeah.
I think
Are
that's
they
where
working
They're
on
going to go
that?
to a girls' prep school.
I never played that game. I've heard it's
That
really
game
good.
is great.
A lot of people will say that is Rockstar's.
It does not
best
hold
game.
up at all. I don't think.
Oh, it
I
does.
was
I can't
talk-
imagine it does.
I was
Because it's a bunch of really weird mini games.
I was talking recently about how one of the things I'm most excited about, one of the things that gets me through the day is the prospect that at some point in this next generation there'll be a new Red Dead game in next gen, which I'm like, oh, just think about it. And somebody had responded saying, like, think about if they took the 3-player model from GTA and did like a good, the bad, and the ugly kind of thing.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome.
Be amazing.
Yeah, very excited about that.
I
mean, I enjoyed GTA.
That game did very well too. I mean,
we
they
just-
might be working on a
We,
sequel of that
Red
thing.
Dead.
I think it's one of the games of the generation, Red Dead. It's fantastic.
I got bored with Red Dead
another
because
game
of the horse
played it.
riding.
I went to Mexico. That was it. And I heard it gets really good in Mexico.
Did you
But
get-
that's it.
I got really annoyed because there's that beautiful musical thing that moment when you ride into Mexico for the first time. It didn't
Yeah.
happen to me because I rode in on the wrong horse,
Oh.
apparently. Yeah. I was very upset about
Metaphorically or
that.
literally on the wrong horse?
I played it all the way through the end. I loved every minute of that game. And I'm enjoying GTA as well. Like, it's weird, we were talking about shorter games earlier, and I, as someone who struggles to find the time in the day anymore, when you've got kids, it's harder to play games. I very, very much admire the amount of content in. It's like, oh my god, how much did they pack into this game?
It's kind of
ridiculous.
insane.
It's
though.
overwhelming.
Do you have like a?
But it's
like it almost feels like it was made by crazy people or something. Like
Oh,
I had
well,
it.
there's no question that it was made by crazy people, but
I was just like, you didn't have to spend like all the money to do this. Now,
Yeah.
granted, they made it all back immediately, but it was the kind of thing where it's like, I think it was that first plane mission where they're like, hey, fly the plane, and you're just like start flying around the city, and you're like, are you serious?
Yeah, really.
I mean, it's
Is this real?
It's
Like-
nuts. Just as
It's totally
just as
crazy.
an artistic technical achievement, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I do find it almost. I'm halfway through it right now, and it's almost becoming like a chore. Like, I want to finish it, and I have fun when I play it, but I feel like, I guess I should finish it, but it's almost too much game.
If you
Yeah.
take 2
Games that you
days
can finish
off,
in 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like some of my, we said earlier, some of my favorite games from this year are games like Brothers and Gone Home and Stanley Parable, things you can play in a
Gone
few
Home
hours.
was fantastic.
And feel like you've had a complete experience.
I haven't played that
But
yet.
and the problem with GTA is not a problem. It's a great thing. It's a good problem to have. But like, I will pick up GTA, play all night, and actually make no progress because all
Yeah.
I've done is just tool around.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go do some yoga.
No,
I'll play
Tanya, I
tennis.
don't want to tow any cars. Thank you. We're
Yeah.
done.
Oh my God,
That,
Tanya and her tow truck.
Tanya's great. Towing is terrible.
I did not finish those missions. I didn't
Oh.
want to do that.
That part is crazy. The like.
I did like Tanya.
like driving around in the world, and like just the world is just totally fucking amazing. But then when you go to do the story missions, a lot of times they have you do the most boring things I can imagine. Like the one where you go to the dock and you have to like be like, I'm stacking containers at the dock.
I thought that one was pretty good.
You really liked it? Oh God!
Like I liked driving.
Oh,
I
no.
Was
liked,
it
I
the end of
liked-
A-Team?
They
Was
still
like the
have.
end of A-Team where you're like moving containers?
kind
Or
of,
more
yeah.
The Wire
They
season
still
two?
have
Only
the,
way
they
less
have-
exciting.
They have
The
not
Wire
eliminated.
season 2?
They have
Like-
not yet eliminated all the busy work from the GTA games.
I don't think it's
The
possible.
thing where you're moving the containers around on the big
Yeah.
crane was just boring.
The big problem with the,
The
game.
tow truck missions are just boring.
Yeah, it's like and it's weird because my only like sort of thinking about like why would they do this like from a game design perspective is that a lot of those things that you're doing are like the setups for the big heists.
Yeah.
And the heists seem pretty cool.
The heists are cool.
heists are
And
great.
there's so what they're doing is like, and I don't even know if this is intentional because I don't know why you would put something boring like stacking containers into your video game, but it creates this like huge delta between like the mundane things where like stacking containers and then like the big heists.
Right.
And so it actually feels higher. It feels like artificially higher than it would because it's like, oh yeah, I had to stack a bunch of
they had to
boxes.
put some lows in?
Yeah, it's like I had to do a bunch of like boring
I
shit
mean,
to set it up,
I-
and then boom, I get this huge
I
high.
guess it's not an ideal way to create that, I suppose, but like you're right.
But it
that
does
when,
create it,
But
right?
when you've finally done all the setup and it's like, right, it's time to go on the heist, you are totally amped up for it. It's like,
yeah.
something exciting is going to happen.
And it's like if you were doing like a bunch of super exciting things and then you do the heist is not as
Right.
exciting, I guess, like by definition. It's weird. I don't know if that's the thing.
Guys,
but I am enjoying it immensely.
we have reached $8,000
Hey.
that
That's
we've
awesome.
raised
That's awesome.
for charity
That's
right
fantastic. Thanks for donating.
now. We are $2,000 away from our first stretch goal, or second stretch goal.
Which
what is happening at $10,000?
Will's getting slapped in the face.
Is that what
Oh,
we decided?
man.
I thought we had something else first. I thought slap in the face was 20 grand.
No, you can't change that. No, you can't change that.
Man, I could take my glasses off first, right?
Yes.
Who gets to slap him?
Norm.
That is undecided yet.
No, I'm not letting Gary slap me.
Why not?
So we've
He
got
has a lot
30
of anger.
minutes.
I've been slapped by you.
I don't want to see. That's the thing. I don't even want to slap
I was
you.
going to say that slap like in Space Rocks, that would be a legitimate move that you could make.
We're not talking about
Oh,
Space
you
Rocks
didn't hear my
anymore.
game idea.
Who was
I'm gonna
this?
run it by
No,
Brad.
no, no,
Okay, great.
He's
Oh my God.
He's an actual game designer.
Okay, yeah, ready?
You're gonna. Oh God.
I'll do this.
We only
This only
have.
takes 30 seconds to explain if you just don't interrupt and let me explain
We only
it.
have
need
14 hours left, so
Wait,
be
wait.
fast.
Okay, this is going to be fantastic, all
It
right?
only
No,
took
it's
as
not.
long as
Let
it
me-
did last time because Will would not let me explain it.
so
He
you-
kept interrupting,
before
kept
you
asking
start-
insane questions.
Before you start, okay? You said that, yeah, I've had a weird year. I had a weird year. The first half of my year was pitching video games to publishers, okay?
Oh, so you've done this before?
That's super weird. But this is my revenge, okay? So
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
going to be
Oh,
the video game
are you
publisher.
gonna be-
Think
are you
about
gonna-
this
are
for a
you-
minute
are you
and
gonna
then
be like
decide if
Shark?
you want to do it on the internet.
Is this going to be like Shark Tank? And
No,
you're
I
gonna
want to do this.
Take
This
it
is
apart?
great. This is going to be great.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
The end of Brad Muir. Okay,
All
Gary.
I know is
I'm
the
quiet.
community is already behind me on this.
Okay. Oh, they are? Maybe I don't want to do this. No, I don't want. I want to
Go
do
ahead.
This.
You know,
It's
I don't
good.
think, maybe we
It's
should.
good
I feel like
either way.
It's not going to be as good the second
You've
time.
already set it up. It's too late. You're committed. Go. You have 30 seconds. I'm timing.
All right, so it's okay.
From what
I mean, and you can
Okay,
critique
Gary.
me on my pitching technique as well.
Gary, I've got
Gary's pitched movies in Hollywood.
All right,
He
got a
knows
lot
how to
of
do
things.
this.
keep it short.
I've got a lot of things.
All
Yeah.
right, so
Look,
it's
I've got
called-
an important meeting
Okay,
later.
so-
So, all right.
Don't get that out of my face. So it's
All right.
called Space Rocks.
Okay, Space Rocks.
Space Rocks.
Sure.
Are you deliberately looking at your phone just to fuck with me?
What? No.
Okay. All right. You
Nope.
think this is good?
I mean, nobody will ever do this if you pitch a video game to them.
10 seconds left.
Okay.
I only have 10 seconds left. How much
Yeah.
time were you giving me?
You said
Space
you could do it in
Rocks.
30 seconds.
Space
No.
Rocks. Okay.
Well, I fucked it now. I didn't
Space-
realize.
yeah.
I didn't realize you were going to
Do
do
you
all
need a
these.
do-over? That was your 30
No,
seconds.
you know what? You guys don't deserve
Gary,
space. You guys
do you
don't
need to-
deserve Space Rocks.
Do you need to come back
I'm
later?
just going to take it to Kickstarter.
Wow.
Look,
That was terrifying.
these-
I was really scared.
These guys, look. Brad,
I'm sorry.
Here.
Brad
I just-
knows. This is
And scene.
I'm like totally fucking with you. It's like it is very intimidating to go into a boardroom and you've got a bunch of like
Look,
dudes
I-
that are in suits
I
or like
pick-
whatever, and they're just like they hear hundreds of these each
Yeah.
year, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like you have to bring something that's like gonna like
It's-
blow them away,
It's
and it's
GTA
like
meets Enter the Dragon.
and it also can't cost $300 million
It's-
like what
it's
you
Mech
just said.
Warrior 2 meets Dota.
All right, now I'm interested.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
mechs and
Yeah, mechs and
mech
MOBAs.
MOBA? A
Yeah,
mech
I think that's
MOBA?
great.
All
I think
right,
we're ready to
yeah.
go.
See?
Mech
Now I'm
MOBA.
interested. Space Rocks, go. I actually really
reals.
do want to hear about it now that I've like fucked
It's a
with
board
you.
game.
So look, my problem with board games is
Okay.
that they're too complicated. They're too many rules,
That's-
and they take ages to play.
Okay.
Like,
Some do, some don't. You know.
but they're all
Brad
really,
Muir,
they're-
board game aficionado.
There are gonna be- all right,
Just setting
a
up
lot
all
of them
the,
do.
just setting up all the pieces and giving everyone all the cards and the tokens.
It can
can
be,
take
yeah.
hours, right? Who needs it? So this is a board game that's more accessible to people that anyone can understand.
Okay.
So it's called Space Rocks. All right, and it can
Are
be.
you talking about asteroids or?
So you're doing what he did. Just let me tell you that.
Do you do this when you pitch a movie?
No, because people don't ask stupid questions when I pitch a movie. They're professionals.
You just go in and say it's the social network meets Jurassic Park?
I go, yes. I go in there and I say, it's Miss Congeniality meets Enter the Dragon.
That sounds
and-
great.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I would.
She's
I
a
would
karate
I
I would
lady.
actually watch that.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Edit this part out, Joey. Cut the
Are you
feed.
gonna just start working
let
on
me
this?
just email that to myself. Hold on. Urgent.
It's
Urgent tag.
archived. It's archived.
Okay, can I pitch Space Rocks? I can
Yeah,
do this.
yeah,
I
let-
can do
let
this.
Will-
Oh, you're going to
pitch-
pitch Space
yeah, I
Rocks.
can
pitch-
All right, let's see
I-
how much
I
you've
believe in it.
absorbed.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Space Rocks.
So you take a piece of cardboard
Yeah.
with stars around the edge.
Okay.
It can be 3 feet by 2 feet, 5 feet by 7 feet. You can go behind Safeway and get it. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You just have to put some stars around the edge with a marker.
Okay.
Then you pick up 100 pieces of gravel from your driveway or the side of the road.
All right.
Or maybe you go to the local park and steal it from there.
This,
That's
is,
cool.
this is the version you can do yourself, but like, I would actually sell a proper.
I want to hear about prototype of
It's
Space
Creative
Rocks.
Commons, so you can do it
Anyone-
yourself.
anyone-
just
I
like
like it.
Cards Against
Okay.
Humanity.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can print out your own
Dude,
cards.
Max Temkin.
Okay.
Max
And
Temkin,
then,
shout out. I love
and
that
then
guy.
you pour the 100 stones
Okay.
into the playing field, the piece of cardboard.
It's 100
It's not
Space
pouring,
Rocks.
it's
Those are the Space
assembly
Rocks.
in the
Yeah.
center
Right.
of the
They,
board.
they're asteroids.
And
You're a
at
minor.
the start, nobody owns
Okay.
them.
You're
It's
a
just
minor.
100 rocks
You're a
in
minor.
space.
So you can't drink yet.
No, if they're in the middle, they don't belong to you. If you hold them, they belong to you. And the goal
Okay.
is at the end of the game, 30 minutes, you want to hold as many rocks as possible.
Okay.
Did I do a good job? The person who has the most rocks wins?
How do I get my rock?
Well,
Any way you want.
didn't-
There's no
didn't- You
rules.
didn't even talk about the character sheets and
Wait,
the role-playing
what?
aspect.
I didn't. Oh, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I thought that was
This
only a
sounds-
stretch goal.
So
this
listen,
sounds violent.
because the game is so simple, it's very scalable. It's from anything from 2 to as many players as you want. There's no limit on the number of players. As many
Sure.
people as you can get around the game board. Okay?
All right.
And there's a clock. It's only 30 minutes,
All
so no
right.
game can last longer than 30 minutes.
Why would it be 30 minutes?
Just because it just seems like a good time. I mean, that could change
But
as we play test
because
it.
a lot of people, when they play board games, they look for the 20 to 30 minute.
Oh,
time
okay,
marker
yeah,
on the, board
the
game.
20 to 30
Yeah.
minute with the little
Yeah.
clock next
Yeah.
to it,
That's
and you're like,
exactly how much
oh,
It
time
just feels
Okay.
like a good time.
wait, but so wait, there are no. It's just a fucking free for all where everybody grabs rocks.
I mean,
and
you can
like
establish
abuses each other.
Yes.
Like, are you kidding
That's
me?
but in
This
charac-
game should be
but-
1 minute
but-
long.
But in
Set the
charac-
timer
Right,
1 minute.
right,
That's a
hold on.
game designer right there.
In character, because you're going to spend 15, 20 minutes making up your character sheet.
What's
but
on my character sheet?
Anything you want. You can be anybody you want. That's the whole point of
Well,
it.
while you're writing down your character sheet, I'm putting rocks in
No,
my
but you
pants.
can't actually grab the rocks until everyone's turned in their character sheets. And then once
What?
the,
What's
once
that?
the,
Suddenly there's rules now?
Once the clock goes,
Okay.
you've got 20 or 30 minutes, whatever you want to say the time
Okay.
limit is. You can set the time limit yourself.
Are you going to include an egg timer?
And at the end of the game, the person with the most rocks is declared the winner.
See? Okay.
And
Yes or no, game publisher man? The rocks are cheap. The cardboard you can get behind Safeway.
Yeah,
So
I like-
costs are low.
I like.
Marketing maybe
I like
a little
that.
high.
Yeah,
The lawyers are
I
probably going to
feel
clean
like the
you
first
out.
playtest of this game is going to be an unmitigated
your
disaster.
initial instinct is right. It's going to become violent very quickly because obviously
Right.
that's the best way to get the
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah.
You get an hourglass, right? A little half
So
hour.
Yeah, it's egg timer.
Oh man, so
Yeah.
good. But like, yeah, I think the 1 minute version of this game is pretty fun. But man, you're grabbing rocks.
Well, so
Well, no,
then-
but they would be, they would be like little round asteroid type. You could paint
Gary,
them. You could make them
some
look
more
pretty.
you
spiky.
could
Yeah.
use marbles for the classy version.
What?
Some are spiky.
Yeah.
And you know what you could do? You could put if you wanted to make it more interesting, you could put a couple of rocks in there that are like really valuable ones.
Like real
the
gold.
golden snitch rock would be in there. That's the one that everybody wants. That's worth like half
Sure.
half all the other rocks put together.
All right.
And then the
And like
thing is,
people would really be fighting over that one.
I'm coming around on this, Gary. There's
You
an
are getting-
interesting risk-reward balance because if
I'm
you
telling
pick
you,
up
the
one rock,
community is
you
loving
can
it.
throw it
I
at
could-
somebody,
I could-
and that's going to make them drop
I
their
could
rocks.
kickstart this right now, and it would be
Why do you-
funded by the end of the podcast.
Why do you need a
You're seeing this through a very special
Why do you need the
lens right
cardboard?
now.
Is that just to set the
Playing
mood?
field. No, it's a
Why is there a playing
It's a
field?
fucking board game, Brad.
Well, that's just to provide context. That makes it appear
Right.
that the rocks are in
Okay,
space.
sure.
It's a space starfield.
Because you could just put it
backdrop.
out on the blacktop and
You
you'd be
c-
fine.
Well, I'm saying that's why it's great. Like this is not, and it doesn't have to be an expensive
Sure.
game.
I see. I like.
this.
If you're
is for all-
disadvantaged, you can take a
this is-
marker and put it on the
This
ground.
is for all demographics, like,
It's like
you know,
bum fights for kids.
working class families. Like, you know,
It is. It's
you
going
can
to
go out and
become
buy-
bum fights for
you-
kids
you can-
immediately.
You can go out and buy. You can go out and buy the expensive version with the nice glittery star field, the deluxe version with the hand painted
Sure.
space rocks, or you could just get some rocks and a towel and put it
Yeah.
down and just play.
Do you think the Hungry Hippos people are going to come after you?
No, because it's
'Cause
nothing
it's the
like
same
that.
No,
game.
they've got. I mean, Hungry. Yeah, I don't know.
You think we're clear?
Yeah, dude, Double H. It's fine. Actually, wait, is it Triple H? Yeah, they're
Yeah, it's
double
Triple
hungry,
H.
right? Triple H.
Whoa.
Whoa, I bet.
Whoa.
Whoa. Is that where he got his name?
Hungry Hippo.
I bet it is.
Story checks out.
Yeah, I think that's what
He's pretty big. What
what
about
it
the
says.
hair, though? We'll ask Jeff tomorrow morning.
But look, I've always been taught to
Amazing.
believe that the best game designs ultimately the most simple and easy to understand. This is
It's-
like you know how like with the Wii, like your parents
Yes,
can play. You
yes.
can play this with your parents.
It's
There's
true.
definitely
with
like
elderly relatives.
There's definitely a mass market appeal to it. It's
If-
weird
yeah.
though because you led your pitch with like, there's a lot of complicated board games, blah, 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 but like a lot of people like really complicated
Yeah.
board games.
That's
Like,
Gary
true,
doesn't
but I think they're
understand
but that market's already very well
sure.
served.
Okay.
This is for the casual gamer.
So this
Like
pitch
the
is-
iOS
This is
gamer.
for
The
casual,
ultra casual gamers
casual
who
violent
enjoy
gamers.
physical violence.
Casual violence.
I
can
think,
see that.
That's
think-
going to be the name of my game company, Casual Violence.
I think starting the pitch
I
with
think you
things
got
that
something
people
there.
don't like is probably a mistake, though. I think you should start the pitch with things that people do
Yeah.
like. So you should say, if you like casual violence and punching your friends in the
Yeah,
face,
that's it.
have we
You
got
got
the
it.
game for
This
you?
game is, you know how like these complex games like are perfect for the European market, you know, these-
Like Candyland.
yeah, like the really complex rules and like the Europeans,
Yeah.
Germans love them.
Yep.
Monopoly.
Americans, they like simple shit and they like violence. And they like greed. This game is
Greed is
about
Interesting. See, if they're fucking gold coins and everybody's like a
Well, but these are like these. The reason you're mining these asteroids, these space rocks, is because they're rich with gold and the minerals, all the marbles.
All right.
You're not fighting over a bunch of worthless rocks.
So,
These rocks
Of course
are worth
not.
something.
Of course.
That wouldn't make sense.
But an important part of your business potential for a board game is expansions and stuff like that. What do you do?
Yeah.
Like you get some impediments, like handcuffs.
well, I haven't started thinking about. I haven't started
gags,
thinking about expansions
blindfold, stuff like that. Just go down to the local S&M shop.
'Cause
and
you're
load
definitely
up.
gonna get that.
You could easily do add-on packs for this, though.
It is true.
It's
You are
very-
going to complicate your
More
beautifully
rocks?
simple design, though. Even your golden rock.
You could get a decorative board.
You're starting to go towards Rainier Knizia.
See, that's where I
you
felt
know?
like I was pandering to
Is
Will.
that how
like,
you say that, guys?
in a
I
pitch,
have no idea.
in a
I don't
pitch-
know. I just made it up.
See, in a pitch, you think that's the mistake that you make. You got to stay true to the vision. Will goes, I feel like I'm missing an element. I'm like, oh, but it could have
Yes.
golden rocks in it. You don't want to
Yes.
do that. You want to say, well, this is the vision.
It's a show about nothing.
Yeah,
I learned that from Seinfeld.
yeah, that's right.
Just
Take it or leave it.
all the way down.
If
Stick-
you don't,
stick to your
want
guns.
space rocks, I'll go across the street and they'll
Sure.
take it.
ABC
No.
will take this
And
in
you
a
can
second.
and you can explain to your boss why you
But
passed
then,
on the
but
biggest
then you go
game
across the street.
of
Guess
the
what?
year.
They don't want space rocks either.
I think that Space
Neither
Rocks
does
is
the
a
third
perfect
guy.
Kickstarter game. I think you can't
No,
go wrong
it's so
here.
sad, Brad. It's so sad.
It totally happens. It happened to me. But then we did kickstart something else, and it was awesome.
I know.
See?
It took me a long time to realize that your art had it was a candlestick and faces.
Oh yeah,
I'm bad at
the
stuff
massive
like that.
chalice.
Yes.
the massive chalice. It's actually two faces.
I
we
get
didn't.
it now.
We didn't invent that. That's the
I
thing.
know.
It's old.
It's a thing from before.
It's the thing from
The old
before.
times.
We're borrowing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're actually putting that into the game. It's gonna be awesome.
Really?
It's gonna be your advisor. Do you know anything about the game?
I
have
know
you been following
that
it?
it's got some MOBA stuff. I backed you on
It
Kickstarter.
doesn't have MOBA stuff. What do
I
you?
thought it was a MOBA thing.
Oh my god.
Okay, explain what massive.
I gotta learn you.
Explain
I
what
gotta
massive
learn you.
chalice is.
Massive Chalice, tactical strategy game
Okay.
on an epic timeline. I always do this. It's an epic timeline.
So the timeline
That's
starts over here and then goes
yeah,
to here.
That's the time
okay.
passing.
That's just like an elbow length.
So-
it's not that
Like going
long.
from empty to full in gas.
It sort of is. I guess it's like.
Should you
yeah,
be
I don't
going
know.
that way?
Yeah, it's like
I
the
guess-
clock.
Okay, it's a sun. It's a sun rising.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, that's
yeah,
good,
that's
that's
it.
good.
That's it. That's why it felt so good.
Is it on a civilization?
No.
Okay.
You have to stop talking now.
Sorry.
All right. Let it wash over you. So tactical strategy at epic timeline. So it's split into two parts. There's a strategy section to the game where it's like very high level, and you are this immortal ruler, and you're leading this kingdom in a defense against this demonic invasion. So the big twist is that it's going to last for hundreds of years. I haven't actually pitched this in a while. I haven't had
Game
to.
is
going
gonna
to
last for hundreds of years,
The
or
game is,
you're-
your playthrough will last
Okay.
hundreds of years, but
Okay.
actual game time, not hundreds
Not
of
hundreds.
years.
That sounds much better. Yeah.
So, so you're going to be managing all of these like heroic bloodlines, and you'll be creating marriages and like making all these like really important decisions. And then the heroes will actually grow old and die over the course of the timeline, and you'll have to make sure that like they're having children that will grow up to be the heroes in like the next generation.
So if they're
and
good
so
at something,
forth.
you want to pass on the good genes, so you have
Exactly,
more people
yeah.
that are good at that thing.
And we're
That's
working on
cool.
like a very light kind of genetic system that will allow you to pass on certain traits so that the kids will have stuff from the parents, maybe like Punnett squares.
Okay.
We'll probably talk about Punnett squares with you guys for a while.
Yeah, peas. It's all
so,
about peas.
So that's like the strategy layer, and then when the demons actually invade one of the regions on the map, while the timeline's running, it'll freeze the timeline, and you'll go into a tactical battle, much like Final Fantasy Tactics or XCOM, and then you'll deploy a small squad of these heroes to fight these demons, and then you'll bring kind of like their remnants and stuff back into the strategy layer. The structure is really based around XCOM, either old XCOM or new XCOM.
Yeah.
And so you'll be researching this like weird demonic technology and trying to figure out like how the invasion's working and try to stop it. But it's going to take, that's the big twist that we're trying to lean into, is that it's going to take several generations in order to actually like solve this problem. So the kind of like eugenics and the like making sure that you're having strong heroes throughout. Maybe we're looking at about 4 or 5 generations. Is he writing up the Kickstarter for Space Rocks right now?
No, he might have just shot the video.
But yeah, that's the core of it. Is that it's like we're looking at Final Fantasy Tactics and XCOM and Fire Emblem.
I mean, I love the XCOM remake, and I feel like that brought so
fantastic.
many people into tactical strategy
Yeah,
games.
and that was like I've had this idea for a really long time, but I just didn't think that I could pitch it to publishers. I was pitching a different game, but then that the new XCOM came out, and it was like, oh man, like it turns out that people like turn-based strategy. What the hell is going on? Like it was kind of shocking.
Well, but I mean, one of the things I like about XCOM is that kind of because you spend some time in the meta game and then you spend time in the tactical game, you get to kind of like it breaks up the pace a little bit more if you're not super into tactical strategy stuff. And I think that's that's what made that game special.
It's cool. I just love that that overall structure. Like very few strategy games have that, where the high level is super high level. Like you're managing the whole. Like in our case, it's like you'll be managing the entire kingdom, and like there are all these keeps around the realm that that's where you'll be retiring your heroes and kind of marrying them off to one another to like have kids. So it's like really high level, and then the tactics, it's like, at the human scale, and you're only going to be controlling like a 5-man hero squad against the demons. So it has like real like low level like intimacy where you're like, seeing these human characters like fight in this tactical combat, and then all of the I guess like all the consequences and stuff that happen at the high level.
So do you have like the kind of like detail that you have in like the European those games that simulate all of the European monarchy for the last
Crusader
years?
Kings. So Crusader Kings is super popular. Like it's going to be Crusader Kings Light.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of it is that people have we reference Game of Thrones in the pitch as well because it's like been a big influence on us. But a lot of the kind of like political backstabbing stuff, we're gonna just take a pass on that. It's kind of like these families are like coming together to actually fight this invasion.
Unified menace.
It's just we can't tackle everything because I think that's a really interesting thing to try to get into the game as well, like having the families sort of hate each other, backstab each other, and you're sort of like trying to control them and sort it out. But I think it's just like focusing on the actual just like demon invasion being the real threat is just a better way for the game. It's a way to streamline it down just because like, man,
it could get crazy.
There are so many ideas. And I mean, one of the coolest things about like going to Kickstarter with it is that we took it when it was just like, it's just a concept, that's it. We had 2 pieces of concept art and we shot a video and I was talking about the game and like, that's it. So the cool thing about it is that people have all these ideas and suggestions and shit, and like we can actually work them into the game. And it's really cool that like we're doing this whole like open development thing. We stream every other week and it's just like we show people our progress and the game looks terrible.
But
it looks terrible right
that's
now.
always the case, right?
Oh, it's always the case. But people don't know, So it's a little bit weird to like, what does the game look like 4 weeks into development? Like we're just like, here it is. Like it looks pretty bad. Like check it out.
I mean, the stuff that you guys are doing with that, I haven't watched. I've watched a lot of the Broken Age stuff as it's gone on.
Yeah.
And like Norm, Gary, and I all have worked on the other side, the press side of game stuff over the years, and like we always see stuff when it's early. But we never saw stuff when it was this early.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, you're talking about like alpha, probably beta more when they actually
say
show
it's
it
an
off
alpha,
to people.
but it's really a beta.
It's much closer to beta than alpha,
Do you feel like people are receptive to that because they're invested?
I think so. I mean, I hope so. Like, people are not, we try to qualify everything, and we're just like, hey, like, we haven't been working on this for very long, and it looks really bad, and we know, but we want to show you what it looks like. And really, I think the people that are coming to like our streams and kind of like interacting with us, they want to know. They're
they want to believe too.
They want to believe, but they also want to know how games are put together. They're like really curious about it, and I think that part is really sweet. There's like this education piece of it where we're like, hey, like, come, we're gonna show you the entire process of like how we make this video game, and hopefully it doesn't train wreck.
Does that restrict your ability to have a traditional media plan in terms of like milestones, reveal stuff to people?
Totally. I don't know how that's gonna work. I mean, that's gonna be really bizarre because all of our shit is just gonna be like flapping in the wind the whole time. So it's like, hey, we feel like we can actually show, do previews. It's like, well, previews, I don't know.
Do press guys follow? I mean, I wonder. I kind of feel like
know.
the press guys don't have enough time to follow.
They probably don't. So there's we'll probably be able to do like some kind of like hands-on stuff with the press at the sort of normal times that you do, like with your press cadence and whatever. Like, and it'll probably be pretty effective. But our really hardcore community is going to be like bored. I mean, I think they'll look at that and be like, yeah, like,
I saw that
yeah,
a month
be like,
ago.
this is old hat,
guys.
That's fine. They're championing it.
But that's fine. That's cool. That like they've already seen it. That's fine, and it lets us get to a wider audience, which is hopefully
that's the
good.
goal, right?
Yeah.
And Broken Age will figure that stuff out before you guys get done, right?
Yeah, I mean, so that was one thing that we kind of learned from doing the Broken Age deal is that there was like a closed forums where like you had to back the game to like get on the forum, and then that they do a lot of content, really awesome content for the forum specifically, and they're not allowed to like take that anywhere else. And there's been some problems where it's like, okay, we'd like to use some of this as like marketing stuff or whatever, and we kind of can't because it's like in this close, but they're giving suggestions and they're really excited about it and stuff. So that's fine. It's like we want their opinions too, they're totally valid. So yeah, it's cool. I don't know. We just did one today, and it was cool.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You did it right before you came over here.
Yeah,
right?
we finally got our game loop going together. So we've got like a high level, like you can actually see the mock-up of the strategy layer, and you can hit play, and the days go flying by on the timeline, and then when the demons attack, you can go into the tactical view. We've got the grid, and you can move dudes around and stuff. It's coming together pretty quickly in terms of like modern video game standards, but yeah, I don't know. It is strange, sort of like just showing people all the stuff, just being like, hey,
come on in, guys.
Yeah, being like, it's totally busted right now. Check it out.
I mean, I have to imagine that helps when you're talking about Kickstarter stuff, where people are typically used to getting rewards in months, not years. And I mean, even you guys are pretty fast, it seems like, on games, and it's still a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that we can turn it around in a year.
Okay.
Like, we'll see. I mean, the engine, we're using the Brutal Legend engine, which is like, it's weird. Like, we used to say it was a AAA engine, but things have changed. Like, I don't know. It's like there's a new console generation about to drop now, and like things have, that game came out in 2009, so it's like a AAA budget now compared to that is like completely insane. It's like they're throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at these things now, and it's like,
and it's versatile enough that you can put on different platforms and
scale
scale it.
Yeah, that's one thing that's rad about it, is that it's like we've put a lot of work, like all of our 3D games have used it. So there's just been years and years of like development into it. It's just that like it's not I mean, compared to like the GTA engine or the the Assassin's Creed engine or whatever, it's not, that's, we're kind of looking at apples and oranges at this point, but
then they're different kind of games too.
It's still very powerful, like, and very flexible, because Brutal Legend, like, so many different kinds of gameplay in that, it really kind of forced us to make an engine that was really flexible, because it had all these different things going on. So yeah, it's cool that we've like stacking and Costume Quest and Iron Brigade,
everything,
and the
Sesame Street
even
game,
Connect Party, the Sesame Street game, anything that's 3D that's come out of our studio since Brutal Legend.
So everything except for the Leap game, Leap/iPad.
Yeah, so all the other ones. So Broken Age, Drop Chord, the Leap game, and Space Base. Those are all 2D, and they're all done in this kind of like modified Moai engine. Okay. Moai is kind of like this open source Lua-based engine, and we heavily modified it for like our 2D.
I know about
2D
Lua
engine.
because of WoW UI modding.
Yeah,
is that right?
It was all in. Yeah, it was all in Lua.
Yeah, that was a dark time.
Did you mod some WoW UI?
I was the kind of guy who would take a UI mod that I liked and then make it better
and start hacking it up,
which would always seem like a great idea until
the
moment
third
the
day.
UI changed. No, and then all of my shit broke, and I'd be like, guys, I can't raid tonight because I can't find any of my hotkeys. And then I just quit playing WoW because that was easier than keeping the UI
That was an
up.
incredibly like amazing aspect of that game, though. They went so far above and beyond when it came to like modding the UI, and the raid UIs, just totally crazy. The stuff that people were doing with that toolkit was kind of mind blowing. I thought
it almost like, as a guy who started playing EQ, like I started playing MMOs with EQ.
So you were pretty old school. Ultima though, no Ultima for you?
I played Ultima, but I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I did the thing where you went into the cave and you mined the ore, and I read the thing in the instruction book that was like, if you mine ore, you can be a blacksmith and make armor. It's a great way to play battles. And then I spent 3 hours mining ore, and I had too much, so I couldn't carry it. And then I walked out, and I stepped 1 pixel out of the city zone, which meant that I got ganked, and like 3 hours, and I was like, fuck this. And then I just didn't play anything until EQ came out.
I'm kind of shocked that nobody, like with Dark Souls being popular. Did you play Dark Souls at all?
Love Dark Souls. Love Demon Souls. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm kind of shocked that there isn't an MMO in development that has that sort of like back to basics, like back to the Ultima Online, like permadeath, like just the complete fuck you, like whatever, super hardcore MMO, because I feel like there are some players out there that would get really into it.
Is that a latency problem? I mean, with hit detection. And
That stuff. It's weird
no
because
audience.
People would like I think that people would put up with the bullshit because it's just like so different from where MMOs have gone, it's like there are a lot of people I think that don't play like WoW and like Guild Wars 2 and stuff because it's like the Care Bear, you know, it's like
A little too shallow.
Yeah, well, no, it's not that it's shallow. It's just that they've removed a lot of the consequences from the gameplay, right? It's like if you die, it's like, oh, whatever, you just walk back to your body, cool, you respawn, no big deal. Whereas like, you know, Ultima Online, it's like you die, somebody takes all your stuff, you lose a bunch of progress.
Right.
Even in
and
EQ,
then they take your house key.
yeah,
you're
right,
fucked.
yeah. Oh, whoops. And then even in EQ, it was like you die, you lose some levels. Like, oh man, it just erased hours of work. Like that shit's crazy. So, what's going on?
I think Gary has started the Kickstarter. I don't know what's going on.
Wait, did you launch a Kickstarter in this for Space
I
Rocks?
told you, when I say something, I do it.
Wait, did you have to have a video?
What?
Did you just?
Oh no, I'm just laying the groundwork. But Twitter account's up. It's good to go.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the
All
first
right.
step.
I'm
Twitter.
really
Can I go
annoyed.
at
I'm
Space
pissed.
Rocks?
I'm pissed. No, at Space Rocks is some motherfucker with one tweet from 5 years ago and has just sat on the account ever since.
Oh, boy.
So I had to get Space Rocks game. I'm at
All
Space
right.
Rocks game.
At Space Rocks game. I'll tweet it out.
So,
Yeah.
but the thing about
I'm following. Space Rocks game is following you.
All
so,
right, good.
Yeah,
Good.
Is it following me?
yeah.
That's nice. Thanks,
It
Gary.
makes you follow 5 people to get started.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's the way the future works.
Oh man.
Seems like a Ponzi scheme.
One of the things that was neat about EverQuest though was all the rough edges. The corpse runs, like if you wiped on one of the massive dungeons, like you had to get help from other guilds to come bail your asses out. Like what was the other thing? I mean, that was kind of a bad example, but a lot of the weird, fun stuff happened because of the fact that there were no instances and all people went and camped the good. You know, there were multi-day waiting lists to get into the good camps and the end game dungeons.
It's so crazy how that stuff. It just looks like just horrifically terrible game design.
Oh, yeah.
But it leads it makes people work together, and it leads to like these really kind of emergent story moments that people remember, you know, and it's just like, whoa, that's amazing.
Yeah,
and like I just feel like a lot of the MMOs have been going in the direction of like more scripted stuff, more instances, more
it's stuff from single player games.
stuff from single player games. Yeah. And it just, I feel like they're I just think that somebody should really like lean into that if they can. I mean, the problem, I guess, is like production values. Is that there's probably the audience for it is so much smaller. You know, like
text-based stuff. I mean, that's where we see it. It's in like Candy Crush.
I guess you could do it. Yeah.
Not Candy. Yeah. Candy
Box.
Yeah.
I just saw Candy Box 2 came out.
Yeah. Well, and
I
the
didn't
other
even
one,
have-
Cookie
What's Candy
Clicker.
Box?
Hey,
Candy
Brad, do you
Box?
want one of these?
What
They're
is
like-
that?
It's like pure distilled coffee as a hard candy.
Yeah.
Candy Box
Jeremy
is a
brought these
text-based MMO.
from Hawaii for us. So
Thanks.
Wait,
yeah.
is it delicious or terrible?
no, it tastes
I
like
haven't tried one
it's like
All
a,
right.
it's like
It's
a
clacky. So
it's like a pure coffee
Oh
nugget.
man, that's good.
Yeah,
Don't bite it. It's really hard.
yeah. Just suck it
I won't
down.
bite it.
Brad,
This
we're
is
giving these
fantastic.
to all of our guests. They are refrigerator magnets that
This
are made
is
of
amazing.
copper. Don't put it in your mouth. One of our users named Young Frey. It's toxic. Etch the copper and then varnish the top. I think the front side's okay to
This
lick,
is
but the back
fantastic.
side
I would
not
like
so
to point
much.
out Space
It's
Rock's
super cool.
Twitter
can't really
account
see it, can you?
already has 132
That's
followers.
fantastic. You're already more popular than
Than
next.
me.
Space Rocks game.
This is exactly
Yes.
the kind of success story that will help lay the foundation for the Kickstarter.
Fantastic.
You can show a chart.
That's amazing.
Twitter followers.
I will donate to that Kickstarter.
This could be the new horse ebooks.
What do I get? What do I get?
You
though?
get a piece of cardboard and 100 rocks.
What's
It's
your
really
reward
straightforward.
structure?
I'm you know what? You're the perfect person to ask because you've had success with Kickstarter. I can maybe pick your brains
Yeah.
a little bit here.
Yeah. Okay. So
I do think
You
I
got- you
do
have
like I do like
so
the car, I do
4
like the
minutes.
Max Temkin model though of like you can sell an actual official
Yeah.
set, but also give people the tools to create their own set.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
I think that's the way to go. So I think I would go like, I don't know.
Will shaking his
Will
head.
is just despair.
Will's not into it.
Is it? I can tell you what. For $35, you get a T-shirt and the game. For
would-
$10, you get the game. Or if you want to go crazy, for $20, you get the game.
You gotta
That's
go.
100%.
But you're gonna have to
profit
make a
margin.
bunch of plastic things, right? And a board.
Yeah, just rocks though.
Rocks.
Yeah, I mean,
But
he
they're not.
can go to the lawn supply place and get a
one of-
50-pound bag of
but one-
game pieces.
But one of the things
for like
no, but
$15.
one of the things that I've learned from like talking to Lloyd is that the board game people really like painting the pieces. So you can give them just plain grey
Yeah.
space rocks, but they can
Yeah.
paint them to be anything.
I like it.
To be anything they wanted.
But like you gotta like get a 3D printer or something. Get prototype space rocks.
Yeah,
gonna go-
prototype them for it. Don't tell them it's the gravel.
Right.
Where do you print them in the shapes?
Yeah.
And then like
I could probably find just like toy.
Terrible.
Go to a store and find like toy rocks or something.
This
and
is-
just
I'm
use
telling you,
those.
Lowe's,
just for the-
50-pound bags.
Yeah, just for the prototype.
It'll do your entire production run done in one trip to Lowe's. You can fit it in the back of your car. And then you can go to the Safeway.
You can't ship people actual rocks. You
Why
need
not?
to.
No, they wouldn't actually be rocks. It'd be plastic because it's got to be safe.
Look,
Safe.
see, there's
at
a
this.
rock right there. Space rocks. Coming
That's
soon.
it. That kid is totally playing Space
Gary
Rocks.
Whitta joint. Gary Whitta's Space Rocks.
Safety is a concern. That is our first concern.
Well, then the rocks have to be big enough that kids can't swallow them. Or you have to put 3 and up on it.
That kid sucks at playing Space Rocks.
He was just putting rocks on a line.
I
dude,
think definitely 3 and up.
Okay, 3 and up is the way to go.
3 and up.
But that's the good because
Yeah.
the rules are so simple, even young children can understand it.
Hey, we need to tie into the charities that we're doing for Oktobercast.
You just
so we
Well,
need
I
to make
think-
Space Rocks happen, please, by
Well, given
donating to
that this
Oktoberkast.
game has the potential to put a lot of children in hospital, I think there is a direct link between that and the charities we're supporting.
think about the 1 minute timer. All right.
The 1 minute pitch?
Nobody
one
wants to
minute
play.
game time, so
Nobody
30
wants to
minutes.
play a 30-minute game of Space Rocks. All right.
I don't know, man. You could really do some damage in 30
That's my
minutes.
advice. That's my advice to you. You want because also you want like best 2 out of 3 scenarios, right?
That's true.
You want like Space Rocks tournaments
You could
where
have
it's
a,
like
the best
of
board
7.
games are the ones where after the first time you play, you immediately want to play again.
You just want to play right again.
My favorite thing about
You
Seven
might not be
Wonders-
able to after your first game of Space Rocks, though.
My favorite thing about Seven Wonders is there's an app that tracks your lifelong record. So I know exactly how many times I have won or lost.
How do you clock it in there, though?
I put it in manually at the end of the game. It's the scoring app.
You
should get the scoring app
cheater?
for 7. No.
I've changed it
You
now,
could
but I think it's
easily
kind of
cheat.
funny that the first 5 people that I chose to follow as Space Rocks game are Norm, or the
Yeah.
people at the table.
Okay.
Did you follow your wife?
Yes.
John
And-
Riccatello.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Perfect.
Because that will provide
Yeah,
the
okay.
scientific.
Yep.
That
You
looks
need to
like
have
I've-
a very
That it looks like
accurate-
I've done my astronomical research.
And on
Yeah.
that note,
That's good.
Perhaps Neil Tyson will be a consultant. But
He's on your board.
The funny thing is, I ended up following the wrong Will Smith.
fuck
I
off.
was following the Will Smith, the football player. And I typed in Will Smith and everything, but it sent me to the wrong one.
It's because he's verified.
He's verified
Look
and
who's
you're
not
not.
verified.
Oh man, I'm not verified either.
No.
I
I'm-
want to
I
get
may
that.
be the only verified
Gary's
person.
verified.
I'm
at the
looking
table.
for that. I'm looking for that blue check.
I'm gonna get Space Rocks verified.
Brad Muir, thank you so much for coming by.
thanks for having
it's
me.
a pleasure to have you, sir, as always.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks very much for this this magnet.
Thank young
I'm
Frey
gonna put
for
it
that.
right.
His name's Eric.
Oh, Eric. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, we'll be
Thanks.
back in just a moment with Roger Chang from Revision 3. You may know him from Techzilla and other places. And check what, DoubleFine.com?
DoubleFine.com, MassiveChalice.com.
Okay.
Come check out the game. Come watch our streams. Hang out with me
Sounds good, man.
on the couch. I'll show you the game. I'll show you the video game.
Anything else you
Right
need to
now
plug?
it sucks.
Cervical mucus or anything like that? We'll see you next time, Brad.
That was incredible. Thanks. All right,
Thanks,
bye.
man. Bye.
Brad.
And
Thanks,
if
Brad.
this is a good time for us to talk about how you can donate to Oktoberkast. We're supporting 3 charities this year. We have Child's Play. See you, buddy. Doctors Without Borders, and then of course the Electronic Frontier Foundation. If you want to know how you can give to support Oktoberkast, the web address, the URL, as it were, is tested.com/Oktoberkast. We're going to be doing this for another.
One-third done.
If I'm checking my math,
We are 1/3
we're
done.
a third done. Gary's just over there giggling, reading the. We're over here supporting the kids and the doctors and the electrons. You're making some silly space rock game, eating Count Chocula or something.
I'm eating the coffee.
Those things have caffeine in them, you think?
Why don't you offer one to
They're
Roger
really
then?
clicky, so we should give them to people on the way out
I'm
because you can
probably
hear
not
them in the
going. I'm probably not
microphones.
going to eat my Count Chocula until we're into the small
Into the dark
when
hours?
I can justify breakfast.
Save me one of those. I would like to try one, but I'm not going to eat it on mic because Roger Chang putting on headphones.
Hey,
How you doing, Roger?
I'm doing good.
We had to turn the mics down because Brad Muir was here, and he's a big voice.
Let me.
It turns out.
Tweet this out.
Roger's another one of my favorite. I'm going to talk about how Dave Snyder was one of my favorite segments from
Yeah.
the first Oktobercast.
You tell that to all the
Roger,
guests.
Roger was another one.
We
Oh,
talked
that's
about
true.
teleportation.
Yeah,
Space poop.
Space poop.
How
Yes.
to poop, teleport poop out of you in Star Trek.
We talked about we were talking about superheroes earlier, and I thought, this is a conversation we should be having with Roger.
Oh yeah. I'm
The
quite.
Flash.
What do you mean the Flash?
240
You
followers
were talking
now.
about the Flash.
We were talking about the Flash,
Why?
about his origin stories, convoluted origin stories.
Well, there's also like 3 or 4
Yeah.
characters who've played the Flash, at least in the past DC. Well, the new 52, they kind of rebooted every.
Oh, you were listening in on the Flash?
no, I'm giving
conversation?
him a recap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
How did Jay Garrick get his Flash powers?
I don't remember Garrick. All I remember was
Barry Allen.
Barry
Wally
Allen.
West.
West were
Wally
very
West.
similar.
And then doesn't
Both
Barry
were
Allen have
splashed with
like a
chemicals.
grandson or something later
Barry
on?
Allen does have
Yes.
a grandson named Impulse.
who becomes the Kid Flash.
and which becomes I think he bemes the second Kid Flash.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
Wasn't there a first
Yeah, there
Kid
was
Flash?
definitely a first Kid Flash.
They stopped doing that because of the Congress, right? The kid sidekicks, or do they keep doing it? Everything I know about this
Yeah.
age of comics, I know from reading Cavalier and Clay.
Well, it's interesting because especially now, and I made this point to a colleague of mine, is that traditionally as people grow up and they take over, various facets of society, for example, our generation is now getting into political power. They're
God
in
help
charge
us.
of, movie studios, publications. And so you see a lot of the same kind of memes or interest that you had as a kid start making its way into popular culture. You see a lot of comic book movies, who would have thought someone would take a toy and make a live action movie out of it?
Who would have
right?
thought somebody would take Battleship and make a live action movie out of it?
Someone did.
That's 2, by the way, guys. Roger, we should introduce you.
Yes.
For people in our audience who have not met you before. I guess I know you because of your work at Revision 3, now Discovery something or other.
Discovery Digital Networks.
Okay, but you're a producer on Techzilla and other things.
Producer of Techzilla. I was producer of Jim Lauterbach's The CEO, his pundit show, Downloaded. I also was doing, I did IO9's We Come From the Future.
Okay.
So I did a bunch of things that kind of came in and out. Right now we're in the middle of rebooting a lot of aspects of Techzilla. So a lot of cool stuff to come.
Cool.
in
You've
the
got
coming months.
Adam Sessler over there now, don't you?
Yes, he is in charge of the games group, and he's doing a really great job.
I like
Have you
Sessler.
guys
He's a good
seen
guy.
his Cecil's new show with the old intern Nick at
Yes.
Whiskey Media?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's
Nick's
called Growing Up with Nick.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about Nick is Nick Robinson, or Nick is a shorthand for his name, is essentially devoid of all the same kind of pop culture
Now,
references.
is that true?
He is
we work
empty.
with him.
He's never seen the movie Aliens. There are people in our office, and this is the creepy
It's
thing.
really disappointing.
Because we're now also at the age where we look back at with kind of a halcyon
If you talk bad about aliens, you have to leave.
glazed view of how things were in life, and you reference music, you reference TV shows, you reference movies, books, or whatever,
Yeah.
and you tell someone who's under the age of 25, they shrug their shoulders, and you're like, well,
Here's a fun one. Nirvana is now as old as the parents. The music my parents listened to when I was the age when Nirvana came
Yep.
out. The kid who was on the cover is like 25 now or something.
it's
Pool baby.
Yeah, Pool Baby.
It's one of the sad aspects of aging. As time goes on, what you thought was cool suddenly becomes dated, and as it becomes more dated, you become in a way your parents, like when you used to make fun of them for wearing like bell bottoms and
Yeah.
listening to like Gordon Lightfoot or some
I like
cornball.
Gordon Lightfoot, man.
You do?
I am
No.
a little Gordon Lightfoot.
I wasn't against the 70s, but there were a lot of acts in there that I think the 70s was probably the last decade you could get by on pure musical talent. Because after the 70s and the advent of music videos, you also had to be relatively attractive.
Or super duper ugly. Like
Yeah.
Luther
I
Van.
think there were some bands
Or-
in
you
the
know.
80s that
Were pretty
that
fugly?
survived purely on
Talent?
on talent. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, name a couple.
Well, I was going to say the Smiths, but I guess Morrissey was a pretty good-looking
yeah,
guy
he was
back
a
in
good
the
guy.
day.
And actually, some of the other band
Journey?
members were pretty
Journey?
from.
Journey had a
Yeah.
lot of marketing money behind him, though.
Yeah,
too.
and he Steve Perry wore pretty tight pants. If you watched any of the old videos, I mean, they were kind of riding up there.
This is where
Not that I pay attention to this.
it's fine, Roger. It's all cool.
That's it.
You know, we
We're
don't
in San
judge here.
Francisco, it's
yeah. Okay, so Kid Flash. I'm sorry, I interrupted the Kid Flash conversation to introduce Roger. Oh, also East Meets West.
Yes.
Which
You still do that?
It's a regular podcast I do with Tom whenever we get around to it.
An irregular podcast. There's a large archive there to go back into if you want
we've,
to dig
We've
deep.
been doing it since 2005.
That is a lot of podcasts.
Yes.
Okay, so what's I don't even know what the New 52 origin story is for the Flash. Did he get splashed with lightning fused
It's
chemicals?
Barry Allen again.
Yeah,
It's about Barry Allen.
he just naturally fast?
It's funny. The only one I read from the New 52 is Batgirl because I was so intrigued about how you take a character that was crippled by the Joker and put in a wheelchair, became Oracle, and then just put her back in.
Oh, you said Batgirl, not Batwoman, because
Batgirl.
Batwoman's a much
Yeah.
better series.
Well, I picked up Backroad because it's written by Gail Simone, and I mean I've always liked her writing. So, to be honest, it's one of those things, and it's kind of one of those things that a lot of people don't think about. But I don't like the fact that comic book companies are constantly rebooting, constantly reimagining their existing set of characters, because it's like, yeah, I understand you have a set franchise, you have a set investment in all these characters. It would help your IP if you generated a couple of new ones every once in a while that become as iconic.
That's
But
what
I mean,
DC is kind of done with Year One or Earth One. So Earth One is their Ultimates.
Well, yeah, but see, again, even with the Ultimates, it's like, yeah, it's that tangential timeline or some reimagining, but it's never like, okay, we're gonna drop you a brand new character, like Stan Lee did back in the '60s, and people are gonna flock to it.
They sneak them in occasionally.
Yeah, but
to do some focus testing. If B characters become popular, then okay, we'll keep this guy.
I mean, like Hellboy was. I mean, he's been around forever now, but when that first came on, that was like the breath of fresh air. It was like, wow, you have a new character. The story doesn't feel like it's been ripped off from any number of other comic book stories or characters, and and the whole plot and the whole kind of situation the character finds himself in is, identifiably unique. And it's like, oh, this is cool. This isn't the same kind of story I've been reading time and time and time and time again. I mean, there was a point where it's just burnt out on Marvel, and I mean, Marvel, DC. I will admit, I read The Blackest Night because I just like the Green Lantern Corps. But even, after that with the New 52, I just stopped, I stopped picking up.
We gotta read other publishers then. Gotta read the stuff from like Mark Waid stuff.
Yes, I think the last kind of I shouldn't even say it's non-mainstream book was Lock and Key.
Oh, Lock and Key is great.
And I really enjoyed that. I was reading Mouse Guards for the longest time.
He's a Tested fan.
Is he?
Who is?
I walked by him at the Image booth. I think it's Image that publishes it.
Is
David Peterson? Something Peterson, I think his name is.
I unfortunately forgot your login.
Yeah, I'll type it in for you. That's easy.
Mouse Guard. David Peterson, yep. Writes and draws Mouse Guard. And I walk by, and he goes, hey, it's Norm from Tested. And I said hi, like, oh my God.
It's a really good series. That, and have you ever read Bone?
Bone's great.
Bone is great. It's one of those that it's totally unassuming, and then you start reading, you can't put it down. It's really that addictive. And I was amazed because when I originally saw it, I was like, this might be a little like a little not under my kind of genre of stories I would watch or read in this case. But I was surprised. I actually liked it a lot. And I don't know. I'm also at the age and at the period of my life where I do so much work that I literally have maybe 20 to 30 books I have to go read. Oh, no, I was actually reading Dial H.
Dial H for Hero.
With Chang. How do you pronounce his last name?
China Meeville?
Yeah.
Is it a graphic novel?
No, it's a comic book
Comic
series.
book.
It's a reboot. It's a reboot
man.
of the old one that they rebooted in the 80s.
So there was a really old Silver Age comic called Dial H for Hero where these kids would call.
They would have a dial. If anyone doesn't remember what a rotary telephone looks like, go to Wikipedia, and they had a dial that looked like a rotary phone dial.
Every time they dialed it, they would get different power.
Well, they would have to dial Hero in that order. It had letters in it. It would have to dial HERO, and they would be able to generate into a new superhero. And the key in the marketing key.
Temporary?
Yes, it was like
Okay.
it lasted for like an hour, and then they would revert back to their human form. And the whole kind of marketing aspect of it was they would try to get readers to submit their designs for the next superhero, and thereby kind of ensuring they had a loyal reader base.
It's a good idea.
And so they toyed with that idea. They brought it back and forth, but China. I can't pronounce his name.
Meeville is how I always said it. We'll ask Veronica next hour. She'll tell us why we're both wrong.
And it's actually very interesting. The whole story is that all the multiverses in the DC universe are connected through an exchange, like a phone exchange. And when you dial, originally the dials were just to mimic the powers of someone else in one of these multiverses, but they were somehow flawed, and they were actually just sucking that inherent characteristic that
So
character.
if somebody gets super speed, they kill the Flash?
Yeah, so like if you dialed up and you turn in the Flash, that other Flash of that multiverse, poof.
Wow, that's dark.
It's twisted more than dark. It's just really wrapped your head around it.
Does that mean there's like some cosmic switchboard operator
Yeah.
there that's
Oh, yeah.
deciding which Flash gets the axe?
and everyone in the multiverse kind of got fed up with them and like attacked the central exchange
And that was the end of Dial H for Hero.
and that's how this whole story begins.
Ah.
Although you don't actually get to that until like eight issues in. The other one I've read a lot of is Mark Miller, and I think it's just because I like Kick-Ass so much.
He's a jerk.
Oh, I can tell. It's but his comics are so ultra violent. It's just it's
They're
off the hook.
sensationalists. His concepts are
Yeah.
I don't know what Mark Miller's doing
He
these
did
days.
Kick-Ass.
He did
I know
Kick-Ass.
that, but
He did Kick-Ass. He's doing Kick-Ass 3.
He did
right now.
Nemesis. Yeah.
You didn't like Nemesis?
like
Oh, I
Nemesis.
love Nemesis. I thought it was so
Yeah.
twisted. It was very Scottish.
It was like, oh, let's make it Batman, but he's evil.
Yeah.
What if Batman was evil? And he
Yeah.
wore white and he'd fuck with the cops and
What
kill
was-
them all.
yeah,
It was
that's
not
awesome.
believable. But it's like
Batman's believable? Come on.
at least
And
they
we're
try to
dealing with a
justify
comic
it.
book. All right, so in terms of comic book movies, are any of you excited to see the upcoming Captain America and Thor?
Both.
Both?
Very
Yeah, they all look good.
Very excited for both.
So I wasn't super impressed with Iron Man 3.
I agree
I
with
found it
you.
kind of boring.
I did not like
agree
Iron
with you.
Man
I agree
3
with you.
either, but other than that, I think that Marvel has done really, really well with all its movies.
Like I'll coast through this entire generation of Marvel movies based on the Avengers.
Iron
Like,
Man
I like that
3
movie
was
enough
the
that I'm
first
good.
Marvel movie to come out after the Avengers, so it had to have that nod, but still standing alone. And it was also the third of the Iron Man, so it kind of had to follow the character arc
Yeah.
of the first two Iron Mans, and 2 was very bad, as everyone agrees.
3 was much better than 2.
3 was much better than 2
I
and
don't
better
know.
Yeah.
directed than 2,
It was better directed than 2.
Yeah.
but it still had to like have this Tony coming to term with.
Yeah,
with
but
Iron
that's
Man
the
thing.
that's the best part of those movies is Robert Downey Jr. coming to grips with his actual life as well as the character he portrays.
because
That wasn't the problem with it.
Iron Man 1 was
No,
like
I
this,
like-
this
that's what I liked
parallel,
about it.
like
That's what I liked
Tony,
about it.
Like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
is kind of like
Yeah.
the Tony Stark.
I am Iron Man. I'm not
Right.
Iron Man. I am Iron Man. I mean, that part was good. The part that was bad about it was the massive 4-hour battle at the end.
So this is I think one of the flags that when you're kind of you've heard of.
Are you going to call me old? Is that where this is going to go?
No.
Okay.
So you've all heard the term like a property bubble or a commodity bubble where people have invested so much money and they've inflated the value of something so high that eventually just has to burst because nothing's keeping it there except people being excited and throwing money
Yeah,
after because
Art.
yeah,
Sometimes.
no, exactly. The Dutch tulip thing back in the 1600s.
That was in Wall Street too.
Wow. Wow.
So my feeling is that a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these big blockbusters aren't funded by the studios because the studios actually don't carry that much spare cash. They actually get banks or investment firms or whatever to put money into it. And what you've gotten is that everyone just wants to throw money into these because they seem like such a great investment. They'll do well in the box office. You can sell Blu-rays, merchandise, everything. And so what you get is a lot of the safe stuff that you see in video games, like AAA titles, tend to get a lot of this Me Too, it feels the same.
Yeah, it has to. There's a defined structure. Yeah. There's a cold open. There's establishing. Yeah. There's a battle that the hero loses. There's a rebuilding period, and there's a battle the hero wins. That's and every superhero movie ever. Yeah, and we're all going to die if they fuck up.
And that's what they do with blockbusters because there's so much money invested in these. Everyone plays it safe, and so Transformers 3 suffered the same thing. My butt was numb. Just watch. Just like I get it. Optimus Prime is super strong, super badass. He's just ripped everyone to shreds. I don't need to see like 20 minutes of it. It's like it's a little excessive.
You know what was good about Transformers? Norm pointed this out after we watched the movie. Transformers 3, all the good CGI fights happened during the daytime. A lot of them, like that whole Chicago thing or whatever city that was supposed to be in the finale. Hey, by the way, Transformers spoilers 3. It all happened in the daytime, which most movies don't do. Big CG fights in the daytime because the lighting's hard. Which I thought was cool.
Well, that and it's just more time and money and resources. I have a friend who does post effects down in Hollywood for a number of TV shows, and it's the more elaborate you want it, you can do it. It just costs more money, and of course, the last thing that anyone wants to do is spend more money.
Don't spend more money.
Thor 2 and Captain America 2. They're second movies in those franchises, which means they're not burdened by any character arc. They don't have we're the first Marvel movie after the Avengers, so while they live in that world, they don't have to be like we're in a post
So you're
New
optimistic,
York.
Norm.
I think Captain America Winter Soldier is going to do a lot better because I actually didn't like the first Captain America. I thought it was kind of boring.
I thought it was okay.
I love everything before he turned into Captain America.
And that whole setup seemed
he
very
was cute. It wasn't a war movie.
He was cute.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't a war movie.
Yeah.
Like Chris Evans playing the weakling and having that like Benjamin Button CG effect. Oh, it was great. But
it just didn't
Not
do
a
a
World War
lot.
II movie.
It wasn't memorable. Like I could go throughout. I could have gone through life without having seen it.
You could say that about every superhero movie you've ever seen, except for maybe 4.
No, I like. I mean Batman. I mean
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. I would have to say is probably the top one up there.
Yeah.
The first Superman.
you mean the Black Knight?
Yeah, the Black Knight. Roger didn't watch the Apple keynote the other day.
But it's I think at least both of those seem a lot more interesting because they're not, and I think this is more is just as important. They're not burdened with trying to establish the character to an audience that quote unquote would not be familiar with it.
We've seen so many superhero origin stories at this point over the last 15 years. Like when they rebooted Spider-Man, I feel like we went into some sort of like superhero origin in singularity where beyond which we have no idea what's going to happen, and it's just bad things happen.
And I hate to say, I would have never thought myself at the age of 12 or 13 saying like, I really think they're just overdoing it on the comic book movies a little bit. Just I feel almost a fatigue. Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Didn't like it.
I cannot stand that show.
terrible.
I gave it 3.5 episodes.
Wow, that's a lot.
I cannot get into it at all. It's just the writing is parts of it are good, parts of it are bad. And I'm a Joss Whedon fan, right? I liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I liked Angel. I liked Serenity the movie more so than the actual series of Firefly. But man, I just can't. I mean, I understood Dollhouse kind of stinking because Joss was a little upset at the way Fox
Firefly foxed him.
Well, no, they
Fire.
yeah, they wanted more control over how everything was written and done. It's like fine, you guys do whatever. I'm just kind of associated with it, but I don't know. It's just not. It feels at this point, it feels like almost like a Monster of the Week style plot line.
But there are plenty of other movies out there that are not superhero movies, and
But
the
a lot
number
of the-
superhero movies out this year is fewer than previous years.
I mean,
I still think it's an overload.
I approve of the transition away from superheroes and into just more science fiction, like the Elysium and whatever the Tom Cruise movie was.
Oblivion. Oblivion.
I haven't watched
like
either
was
of those.
was incredibly beautiful. It was shot incredibly well. A lot of the art direction and the CGI was awesome. I thought the story was kind of thin.
It's a little derivative.
It's a short story. It's literally like a 10-page short story.
But I mean, we've seen a lot of good movies based on Philip K. Dick short stories, so
yeah.
you can't. It's not impossible to do that.
No.
Maybe they just didn't do it very well.
But what was the other one with Keanu Reeves?
He has 2 movies out this year. He has Man of Tai Chi and 47 Ronin, 47 Samurai, something like that.
Do you want me to IMDb this, or are you confident? You ended that with a question.
No. The one that came out like 7
Johnny
years ago.
Mnemonic?
No,
The
after
Matrix.
that. No, where he was in the Philip K. Dick.
Speed.
No,
Oh,
with Robert Downey Jr. Scanner Darkly.
See, thank you.
Scanner Darkly. That was hit and miss for me. Like parts of it were great. Parts of it.
If you've read that, that's actually a Philip K. Dick novel. I think maybe it's a novella or something. It's real weird even for Philip K. Dick stories go.
Although I did like, I've actually never finished Naked Lunch, and that's one of those
I've
things.
never read that.
And the movie just makes me want to read it. If you've ever watched
Never seen
it.
the movie either.
Man, that's a trip.
What is it? It's a Philip K. Dick.
No, it's no, it's not. Oh crap! But the other movie I'm excited to see, and I'm not sure if everyone will be, is Orson Scott Card's
Ender's
Ender's Game.
There's a lot of controversy about Ender's Game,
Yes.
but it's mainly because Orson Scott Card is kind of a fascist, as these things go, more than.
I think the trailers make the movie not that great. I'm more excited for the second Hunger Games movie than I am for Ender's
That's
Game.
a low bar for you, right?
William Burroughs, Naked Lunch.
Oh, okay, William Burroughs. He did John Carter of Mars, and
I like John Carter of Mars, the book. I didn't like the. I thought the movie was all right. I think it was panned unnecessarily. I think if you had to grade it, you would give it a C+.
I thought that movie was better than it reviewed, but it was not a good movie. I would agree with that. I watched it on an airplane though, so who knows?
Yeah.
I still want to see Gravity. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yes, I want to see that.
Which I want to go see it in IMAX. I just watched
You're running out of
Pacific
time for
Rim.
that.
I know.
Did you like Pacific Rim?
I saw Pacific Rim in IMAX, and I loved it.
Did you?
I thought it was really good. But I went in expecting a dumb robots beating up monsters movie. I was expecting Godzilla with good effects, not an amazing love story.
And you got it.
I got exactly what I was looking for.
I thought it was just a stupid robot movie with a paper thin love story kind of taped on.
The love story is the mistake in that movie.
I don't think it's a love story at all.
It is. There is a
bonding, but I
strong
love story.
play for the third quadrant there.
I am one of those people that's like I wasn't in love. Everyone came out of Pacific Rim. Awesome, you gotta watch the movie, and I watched it, and I think one of the things that bothered me, there were so many great opportunities for really awesome, and this goes back to kind of the Transformers thing. A lot of the fight sequences weren't all that amazing or special. They just seemed like.
Did you see it in IMAX in the theater?
No,
or on Blu-ray?
I saw it on theater.
Okay,
So
in IMAX, the fight sequences were rad. Like filled the whole sky.
yes, that's what IMAX does.
There was massive amounts of no. I'm just saying. And this was even more jarring because Gina didn't go see it in the movie. My wife didn't go see it with me in the theater. So when I saw it on Blu-ray, I was like, "You got to watch this. It's really cool." Because the robots, I think the smaller screen hurts the robots. They look cartoony.
So in IMAX, even though it's not exactly to scale, there's one shot in where the Gypsy Danger is walking through the big mech is walking through Hong Kong, looking for the other robot, and he's just walking across the screen, across like skyscrapers. It's almost 1-to-1 scale, like it's like as if you were on a skyscraper watching a robot walk across the screen. From you, I'm not. The scale really helps.
Understand me? I'm not discounting those aspects of the movie. I just think there were plenty of opportunities.
It could have been a better movie.
There could have been better fight sequences. I was really disappointed at how banal the fight.
You don't like the sword? This was a cheer out loud moment. We're at $8,400. We're only $1,600
That's
away.
pretty good.
From Will getting slapped in the face.
I'm going to get slapped in the face
Can I
at
just slap him
$10,000.
in
I think whoever our guest is at that time.
No.
Privilege.
Yeah, that's fine. Veronica will probably be here. We're cool.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
So if we,
I want to.
if in
No,
the
no,
next
no.
35
I've
minutes,
been working out.
It's hard. I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
I know.
Norm and I have.
You could always put the money up.
$1,600. The way to donate is
on.
Octobercast.com or tested.com/kids or doctors or electrons. 3 different charities.
Child's Play, Doctors Without Borders, the Electronic Frontier Foundation. And I'm going to take a slap in the face. Norm's hit me before.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, but
Or
not
do
bad.
you giggle after he does
No.
it?
It wasn't a light tickle across the face. The thing is, and I think we both found this, is that when you're lining up to hit someone, to slap someone in the face, and this is just a slap, not a closed fist thing, it's hard to do. It's not like you just by default, as human beings that live in a civilization, it is against the programming that the civilization has given us to slap someone in the face.
In our society.
I'm
sure other societies might allow it to some degree.
In the 1800s South, when a slap with the glove was a precursor to a duel, I'm sure people slapped everybody left and right and silly. But like at least for me,
in the heat of the moment, you're saying a good slap.
Like a premeditated slap is hard to do if there's no animosity.
So there's as long as it's like murder.
So we need to wait until a guest gets here that hates me.
So you have to. Why don't you manufacture the animosity?
I don't. Why? There's enough hate in the world.
That's creepy.
There's enough hate in the world right now, Roger. We don't need to manufacture more hate. The game industry produces beef at the wazoo. They're constantly beefing with each other.
Yes.
We don't need any of that here. We're just here to have fun and raise money for kids, doctors, and electrons.
By committing a small act of violence against your face.
by making me suffer. People, the thing we've learned over 3. This is our 3rd Oktobercast. The thing we've learned. You've been here for all 3.
Yes.
The thing you're one of our 3-timers. Which, by the way, we're giving all of our 3-timers a gift. This is made
Everyone
by,
gets a gift.
Well, I was trying to make it special
that
for
chocolate?
Roger. No,
Don't eat this.
Don't put it in your mouth.
I've been doing that.
So one of our users made.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but because we've explained it like 6 times already. But yeah, so you have a refrigerator magnet. Thank you for
Cool.
coming by.
Awesome. Thank you. That's
People
really
are paying to watch us suffer. That's why they come to Oktobercast. I mean, we have a lot of good guests and a lot of interesting stuff going on. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if we give them an opportunity to watch us suffer more, they will put in more cash in the kitty.
So you're following kind of the reality TV line where
It's not that bad. But yeah.
I want to point
it-
out to you, Will, that people are already and have submitted photographic evidence to this.
Uh-huh.
People are already making their own Space Rocks games.
That's great. There are people playing Space Rocks at home right
Show
now.
the picture.
I'm going to show you a picture and also send Joey links.
Well, that is 100 rocks. And the stars are on the edge. I imagine more stars on the board.
That's a very basic implementation, but I'm saying that's the sort of thing that you can do at home without having to buy, the official set. Because this is not about making money.
That's true.
I mean, this is technically a business venture, but it's kind of a not-for-profit, is how I would look at it.
I heard that Brad Muir is pitching Space Rocks to someone at Sony right now.
That's
so
not happening.
Something you should watch
Somebody made a
out
tweet
for.
about how DoubleFine will be coming out with Sky Stones in the next couple
That's
of
not
weeks.
very nice.
And they'll totally screw me over.
So anyway,
No, they wouldn't do that.
Oct-
I bet you I could get a call, though. Brad could, mention it to Tim. Tim's like,
why don't you
let's
just
do
call
it.
Adam Boyes
Next
and be
thing-
like, hey, let's make this happen on Via.
Yeah, well, you can self-publish on PlayStation.
That's exactly right. Tester.com/Oktobercast is the way to donate. And we're here with Roger Chang from Revision 3 East Meets West. Tons of stuff.
Tons of
I
stuff.
say Revision 3. It's Discovery Online. Digital Networks.
Yes.
What's it like producing Revision 3 and
Like,
Sonic
what
Texilla?
What is your job?
My job as a producer is to make sure the show is written, shot, recorded, edited, and then uploaded and posted on the website twice a week.
And you do that?
Yes.
Things?
Yes, I write part of the show, make sure Patrick or Veronica and Robert put in their 2 cents. And then I sit there in the control room and make sure all the cameras are where they need to be and the right screens are pulled up.
Wrangle guests.
Yes, wrangle guests like Norm or... Actually, have I ever had you on?
Nope.
No, I'll have to get you on. But maybe as a slapping expert.
Yeah,
I've
next time
had
you have
Will.
a slapping show.
I'm getting a 3D scanner in soon.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Exciting.
you can scan things. And
It's
then
it's
print
very
them.
interesting. It's how do I describe being a producer? It's a lot like doing a lot of things in order to make something happen.
A done getter.
Yes.
Well, and I mean, since you're on a now twice weekly schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means you
Which will change in a couple of weeks.
to more.
To less as we do other things. We're going to do other content
Oh, okay.
in addition to Texilla, but it's all part of our grand scheme to evolve the show.
Take over the internet and rule the world.
Hey, if that happens, I would not be displeased.
Okay, good to know. We're watching out for you.
Thank you.
Do you have long-term do you have long-term projects? Because that's one of the things that, like, when Norman and Gary used to work at monthly magazines, and then we came to the web where everything's daily or minutely or whatever, and I kind of miss long-term projects.
not in the same way. No, I mean when I think long-term project, I'm thinking something like, oh, we're going to do this special for the show, in 3 months. What do we need to get there? And you just keep working on it while you parallel tasking as you do the day-to-day stuff. But in something like we need to have this all ready in about not for a while. Mostly it's just the big events like CES or maybe Comic-Con or something. SEMA, actually, we're going to hit up SEMA.
What's SEMA?
SEMA is...
Should I know this?
It's the Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association. Basically, it's the CES of aftermarket car parts makers.
Oh.
So suspension kits, tires, rims, audio systems, navigation, in-car entertainment.
Right in Texilla's wheelhouse.
Yes. It's in Patrick's wheelhouse.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know about Patrick, but he's a big off-road racing
I know
fanatic.
he used to race, yeah, among other things.
Yeah. He was part of the crew. His job was to drive out there in his, Toyota T100 with the big tires, and change out flat tires, or
Oh, like in the middle of the race?
Yeah. And,
wow.
Push like a trapped a trophy truck, get it pushed out or something.
Why am I not surprised?
It's very Patrick. He even bought. Don't tell him I told you this, but he bought those Fox off-road racing shocks, and they're like $4,000 for a set. Like
Wow.
They're really expensive.
There's a lot of
But
shock.
it is. They're like huge. Have you ever seen them?
Yeah. Does he have a big jacked up car?
He used to. Now,
Okay.
now,
He has a bunch of kids now.
yeah, but now he has like a. So he now has he has a Dodge 2500 that has like the Cummins diesel in it. So that's his big pickup, and then he has the old Chevy Suburban.
Okay.
The big square
Yeah,
one.
yeah, the long one.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Very much a man.
Yeah, well, we have the Man's Man hours coming up late at night. Phil Broughton from Fundrainium Labs is coming over.
Oh, cool.
He's bringing some Black Blood of the Earth to hopefully bring us back to life at the halfway point. And then Patrick's coming in for the late shift, as he tends to do.
Yes,
So,
he does. I have stories of driving with him at 1 a.m. in the morning.
yeah, we do. It's funny. We do parallel drives to CES every year, and we should really team up and
Yes.
rent one van so that we don't have to both go every year.
I kid you not, we were driving back from CES one year because we had to drive all the gear back when we were over at Ziff Davis.
That's the way it works every year.
I fell asleep for I think 45 an hour and a half, and we went over the California border. We come up, and that part of California, there's no lights.
Do
except for
you
car
go
lights.
through like
Tehachapi.
Mojave and Tehachapi? Yeah.
So there's no lights except for the cars that are coming behind you and in front
It's like
of
a
you.
David Lynch movie.
Exactly. I wake up, and all I see before me is this blue building in the darkness lit. And Patrick pulls up, and all I see are these Greco-Roman statues on these columns, iconic Corinthian columns, spread all this. Like, where the hell are we? And I go, and it's the Mad Greek. It's that restaurant.
yeah.
But in the middle of the night, there's no other lights, and all you see is this azure blue tiled building with Greco-Roman sculptures all over the front. And it's like, did I end up in a weird David Lynch movie?
We stopped on the way back in 2012 at a restaurant, truck stop restaurant, gas station, whole thing, where they had these enormous metal dinosaur sculptures that were just I don't think they were attached to any attraction or anything.
dinosaur park.
Yeah, it was a
you
dinosaur
were there,
park.
Gary.
I remember
you were
that.
there.
Yeah.
You were.
I was kind of too
there's a
tired
whole
to really
history
take
of
much of it
dinosaur
in, but-
parks all around America.
Is it a thing? It's a thing.
Dinosaur sculptures.
I
Yeah.
did not know that. So that's the ones in Pee Wee Herman are famous ones.
I don't know about that, but it's totally a thing.
I want to know more about dinosaur sculptures now. Sculpture gardens.
I figured you'd be more accustomed to the long road trips. Being from Texas,
I'm from Tennessee.
Tennessee
Same thing.
starts
We're all,
with
it
a
all
T.
starts with a T. We're all
Southeast.
southern people. I did a lot of road trips before I moved to California, and then we moved to California, and I spent 10 years exploring San Francisco and the near environs around, and I'm just now starting to get going on road trips again. So we've been driving. We drove up to Portland a couple of years ago, and have done that a few times now, and going east and into the Eastern Sierras and all that, and it's been it's an adventure every time.
Do you whip out the GPS and the Google Maps where you have your itinerary laid out on an iPad and you just want to hit all those things?
I do both. So it depends on the goals of the trip. If I'm just going to relax, and maybe if my goal is to get someplace, but maybe see a little bit of stuff on the way, then I kind of just get on what seems like the best route, drive. If we see something interesting, we'll stop. I don't usually, on that kind of trip, I don't plan where we're going to stop at night. I typically will have the dog or something then. So we have to stop in Best Westerns or hotels that are dog friendly. And then when we get where we're going, then we kind of have stuff planned. But then the other way is when I need to get someplace and it's far, and I do the planned stops, and I'm going to go to Eureka tonight or to Granite City or whatever. So yeah, are you a planner?
I am a planner because I'm terrified of getting stranded. So I remember doing it. I remember doing it in my friend's piece of crap Celebrity. Chevy Celebrity.
Yeah.
And you know, all you had was a paper map and like the instructions for the guy at the gas station. And so, you know, it's not to say that, you know, things are so good now, but it's a lot more comforting to know you have an digital itinerary and you can kind of like, oh, people have rated this place as a good place. Instead of kind of gambling, it's like, you know, well, we got another 300 miles to go. It's late. We should probably pull over and, you know, stop at a motel or something, and you just pull over the most convenient one.
The first time when I moved to California, my then girlfriend and I were driving out in a Ryder truck with our car on a trailer on the back. So like our getting off the interstate options were limited. It was the middle of summer, so it was really incredibly hot. And I think we both had cell phones, but you kind of didn't want to use them outside the home area then still because it was really expensive. But I had already started working at Maximum PC then. And we were testing wireless stuff out because we were doing a wireless issue because, you know, sometimes you do theme stuff. So because I was doing the road trip, I had all of the cool wireless stuff. So I had what was the first BlackBerry at the time, which was the one that used Bell South's GPRS data network. It was one of the first nationwide data networks, but it only worked in cities, of course. We had a GPS box that had all of the stops on CD inside this little laptop computer.
Those.
It's the one that I think is still in every Hertz never lost car.
Remember when GPS was pull out your laptop and then plug this UFO thing into it?
Oh yeah.
And that's how you navigate.
And your laptop also lasted about 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
But we were like, that thing was incredible because that combined with the cell phone meant that we could look up and see, oh, we're coming close to Amarillo. There's 5 hotels at the next exit and there's 3 restaurants. And then we could call them and book a room, get the good rate, whatever. And it worked. It was amazing. It was a glimpse into the distant future, 13 years ahead, when we carried little computers that were faster and had better internet than anything we had at the time.
It's a lot. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot more comforting, like to have that with you, that information at your fingertips.
But on the other hand, when you're driving through some place that you have bad service, the stress level, I was much less stressed in the old days.
Oh yeah, because you were always kind of screwed.
Yeah, so now you have like 4 layers of GPS. I can charge off the car, I can charge off my laptop. I have a spare battery. You know, I'm totally prepared. Across the board for any eventuality.
And having AAA really helps.
I don't have AAA. I've never had AAA.
I have. My wife got us AAA, so you know, anytime, even though I don't have their insurance, I have their roadside service. So if something happens to the car, I can call them and a AAA affiliate.
But I can change the tire in 15 minutes.
What if it's not the tire? What if you?
No, that's a terrible idea. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you. I can't drink beer because I'll be driving.
2 beers. I will have 2.
What could possibly go wrong with Norm having 2 beers? A mere 8 hours and 40 minutes into Oktobercast.
8:40.
I have a side question.
possible?
Why is there a Count Chocula box in front of you?
Because I'm going to be eating some Count Chocula later for breakfast.
I thought it was a giveaway.
No, it's just for me.
I thought it was maybe some sort of game.
We have orange Kit Kats if you'd like an orange Kit Kat.
You know, one thing this is one of those things I wonder about when I'm just kind of standing in line waiting for my sandwich to be made.
Who buys the orange Kit Kats?
No, I'm thinking like, I look at because I get my sandwiches sometimes at this corner store that actually next to a corner store where I have to walk by and they have
Is it the place across the street from the sushi place?
Sort of.
Or is it the one on the next to the breakfast joint? This is a great conversation, guys. Sorry.
You know, it's in between. And one of the things I've always wondered is why when we grew up, there were a plethora of cereal characters on your cereal, right? You had Diggums. You had
Honey Smacks. He came with Honey Smacks. Yeah.
You had
He was a frog.
He was a frog.
Okay.
Who was the bear? There was the bear one.
The
Golden
Golden
Crisp?
Grams. No, the can't get enough of that Golden Crisp. You got I don't know what the bear's name was though.
But you also had Captain Crunch. You had all these characters. You even had like
Cookie Crisp guy.
Tony the Tiger had a nephew or son.
What?
He had a junior, and he had his own cereal.
The higher pitched voice and like.
And I'm not sure if it's
Tiger
because
balls haven't dropped yet.
Oh.
I don't know.
He had a scarf. That's all I remember. Wait, Tony Tiger.
Yeah.
Scarf? Maybe it was just a scarf thing. But I noticed that, like, as I go through the aisles, more of the children's cereal seems to have less and less of all those nice, friendly cartoon characters.
What are they being replaced with?
I think they're trying not to market
to be that obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to do Urkelos, Ghostbuster cereal,
Wow.
Pac-Man cereal, Donkey Kong cereal.
Guys, they've changed the mascots more times than once. This topless robot story has taught me that the Frosted Flakes mascot was originally a kangaroo and her kid. Is a baby kangaroo a kid? Joey. The Sugar Crisp. Oh, this is bananas. I don't think the Sugar Crisp bear has a name. I'm sure chat would tell me, actually. Probably already has. The Cookie Crisps are bananas. The Cookie Crisp that they don't have I don't even think they sell those anymore.
There was there was a burglar?
Yeah,
with
he
the
was a
cookie?
bad guy. He was like the Hamburglar,
Yeah.
but for cookies, Cookie Crisp.
And I find it weird because when I
remember
see the
this.
Count Chocula,
You of all people should know this, Gary.
when I
Gary's
see,
making space rocks over
when
there.
Well, I grew up on totally different types of cereal. So in England, we have our own cereals that are very different to
Weetabix?
American types.
wasn't that it? No,
Don't have a lot of shared history when it comes to breakfast cereal.
General Mills. I made cereal milk last week.
by just pouring milk in a bowl.
No, there's more to it than
Oh, wait,
that.
so this
Oh.
is Dave Chang's recipe?
This is it's a Christina Tossi, I think.
Well,
We have
hold
more
on.
Space Pix rocks,
Before
guys.
you talk about your cereal or your cereal milk,
Big news.
we want to share this photo. I don't know who made this. This is amazing.
This is the
This
first
is
ever
made,
Space
Gary.
Rocks prototype board.
Space
What?
Rocks prototype.
Do you know? Did you hear the
Yeah,
Space
so
Rocks
see,
talk?
people
Roger?
are
Were
I
you
cut
here?
a
people are
little bit of
already
it.
making their own space rocks. The concept
It's amazing.
is already proven.
I don't know that that's
Wow,
cardboard though. That looks like a paper
stars
bag
on-
torn in half.
But that's the whole
paperback.
point. It can be anything you want it to be. It
guess
doesn't have
you're
to be
right.
a luxury
It's
game
also-
board.
So what's the objective of the game?
To get all the rocks.
Oh well,
As many-
I'm very glad you asked.
Oh no! Oh no!
No,
How
I'm not-
many
I'm-
hours
I'm
of the
not-
show
I'm
will
not-
be spent
no, I'm
describing
not gonna-
Space
I'm not-
Rocks to poor guests who asked the
I'm
wrong
not going
question?
to. I'm not going to explain it all.
I really
Okay.
like the lettering above it. The space,
thought
and
that
then
was
the
good.
star rocks curved, and then
Yeah.
Some nice Sharpie work.
Oktoberkast in the bottom, spelled incorrectly, but you can fix it by making a straight line down
Yeah.
with the C to turn it into a K.
It's the second C that should be a K, by the way.
Oktoberkast with a K at the second C.
The
Like,
K
That's
in the
okay
cast.
though. I mean, it's their own version. They can do whatever they want with it.
So I made cereal milk.
Oh, nice.
So this is a Momofuku milk bar recipe. That
Momofuku,
Momofuku is Dave Chang,
his dessert
his dessert place. Yeah,
dessert place.
It's like a little. If you ever go, it's in like the Lower East Side, and it's kind of like a little.
There's another
it's a
one.
nook.
There was one
there's
block
another
block
one?
from our hotel where we stayed. I found that out. Oh, you weren't there. I'm sorry.
Too late.
Yeah, the last day I found that out. They also had pork buns at Milk Bar.
Wait,
that you
like
just take
like
out.
wait, what, like dim
Pork-
sum?
No. Like Momofuku pork buns are pork belly buns.
It's
with,
like some braised pork belly.
the buns are like for Peking duck buns.
Oh,
so it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
folded
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
tacos.
Oh, nice.
So it's instead of Peking duck,
It's
and
pork
you still,
belly.
and you still put like the onion and the hoisin sauce on it.
Yeah.
It's pork belly, like the most tender pork belly.
It was the best thing I've put in my mouth in a long time. The
We're now adding Oculus Rift support to Space Rocks.
so
Think development is
did you use it to weight down a quarter of the board?
development is progressing apace.
So cereal milk, to make cereal milk
goal.
ice cream, you take cornflakes and you toast them on a cookie sheet for like 15 minutes until they kind
the
of
oven.
develop the flavor in the oven. It's 400 degrees, I think. And then you add a little bit of brown sugar you add those to milk, let it sit for 20 minutes with some brown sugar
And then filter it.
and maybe something else. And then you strain out the stuff.
Nah.
But
the
did you
cereal
make
flakes.
ice cream out of that cereal?
And then I made ice cream out of the cereal milk.
That's it.
That-
we just say
that-
cereal
that's
milk.
pretty good.
The idea is that you have ice cream that's instead of vanilla ice cream, it's the flavor of cereal milk.
I've had something like that.
And then you
recently.
put
It's a pop-
cornflakes
it's a-
around
it's-
the
yeah.
edge of it.
And then I just dumped cornflakes on top. I served it to like 10 people. It was a huge success.
Huge success being that
People ate the ice cream.
Okay.
And they said they liked it.
I liked it.
3 people asked for the recipe.
I tell you, talking about breakfast cereal, one of the things I very much enjoyed as a kid, and that
Nice
now
seg.
breakfast cereals became. Well, you're talking about cornflakes.
No, you did good.
Became so now it's all fancy. This sugar, that, and chocolate. This. A
We're
good
back
old-
in my day.
just a
With
good
an
old-
onion on my belt.
Just a good old-fashioned
Chunk
bowl
of-
of Kellogg's cornflakes.
I
I,
like-
think it's very underrated these days.
Yeah. You know what I used to do with that? I added like 5 teaspoons of sugar.
Well, yeah,
No,
you put what? Well, see, that's why they created Frosted Flakes. The kids were just
Flakes-
putting sugar on their flakes.
Too much. I actually think Frosted Flakes has most cereal for me has too much sugar.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I moved to what's the lactose intolerant? Like it's
Almond milk?
what?
Almond milk?
No, it's Lactaid. It's
Oh,
actual
okay.
milk. And I got it because I was kind of a cheap bastard and I wanted my milk to last. And Lactaid actually lasts like 2 months.
I'll tell you a secret.
What?
Ultra pasteurized.
Oh, well, does that last super longer?
Look, Horizon milk is ultra pasteurized and it lasts
Alright,
like 3 months.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
So I've shared the secret before, but my ingenious thing in college was to line a bowl with ice cream. So put ice cream in a bowl, and use a spoon to press it against the walls, so you have a lining of ice cream, and then pour cornflakes and milk into that. So the ice cream keeps the bowl of cereal real cold, because it's ice cream, but it also slowly melts, and the vanilla ice cream seeps into the milk, and you get vanilla milk cornflakes.
This is
some advanced stuff.
This is the cereal milk ice cream gives you the same effect.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing.
And lactate actually is because it's actually already sweet.
They just break down the lactose,
Yeah,
right?
and it's sweet.
Yeah.
So it's sugar. So it's all done.
What's your favorite cereal, Gary? What's your favorite cereal, Norm?
It was Honey Bunches of Oats for the longest time, even with almonds. But I like mini wheats.
I like
full size or the bite size bullshit.
Full size frosted
mini
mini wheats. I think would also be my answer.
That's mine for sure.
They're fantastic. Wow, 3 in a row.
Roger Chang?
Three in a row on favorite cereal.
I like Blueberry Morning. I've always been addicted to blueberries, so
I do like a good
They
blueberry.
have blueberry frosted mini wheats now.
Yeah.
I
don't like frosted. I don't like the frosting in those. Those are kind of weird tasting to me.
You know what I discovered recently, and it was like, where has this been all my life? Is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh,
that
gross.
is some good
Too
stuff.
sweet.
Yeah, too sweet.
No, I like it.
There's been frosted mini wheat cleansing at the grocery store over the last 10 years. That Kellogg, who owns frosted mini wheats, has gradually shifted us away from what was originally the frosted mini wheat, a full-size mini wheat.
The size of a Pop-Tart.
It's called a mini wheat because it's half the size of shredded wheat, which was a fucking huge brick of colon cleansing fiber.
I think it's
like a teddy bear of cereal.
That's what you had
around with you. And
you took it and you literally broke
you had
bread
to break
in your
it.
bowl.
Yeah. When kids were taking like sex ed class and they had to take care of a fake baby, they would just take a full-size mini wheat and carry it around in a blanket all week.
We had a bag of flour.
That's fine too. That works.
My backup cereal, my second best, if I couldn't have access to frosted mini wheats, would be Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay.
I don't. There's a weird taste to it.
And they get
Rain
soggy.
Oh no.
There's nothing worse than a soggy Cheerio.
I used to like Alphabets before they added more sugar to it.
What's the Special K with the strawberries in it? The red Special K?
Red
Or
Special
with the dehydrated strawberries.
with the freeze-dried strawberries? I love that. Strawberry milk. So they've gradually transitioned. First they started the bite-sized frosted mini wheats, which was fine. Then they started adding a bunch of flavors to the bite-sized mini wheats and realized that kids would eat that shit up way more than the full size. Then this was tricky. They took away the frosted mini wheats default status by making it the full-size frosted mini wheat. And then the fucking full-size frosted mini wheat just disappeared. Poof, like that, it's gone. My favorite cereal disappeared. My childhood's over.
It's probably easier for them to manufacture those smaller sizes on the same process.
Sure. And they can pack more air in the box because they're smaller.
Chocolate milk. Eat any plain cereal with chocolate milk. It's done.
That sounds pretty good.
It's good.
That sounds pretty.
Do we need to give a shout out to charities?
Yeah, we can do that. It is. We are.
What's the total currently?
We are at $8,700.
That is pretty good. I'm feeling good about Veronica and not the idle thumbs. If the idle thumbs are the hitters, does that mean they each get a shot?
Is it the guest who gets to hit you?
Yeah, that's what Norm decided a minute ago
Jake
against
looks like
my
he
will.
could probably land a pretty good slap.
I don't want to
if he
get hit
wanted
by
to.
Jake. I don't want to get hit by Remo. He's got a lot of anger.
Either one.
Why would he be angry?
I feel like Veronica could probably give you a
I
good
feel like
slap.
Veronica, after she hears me talking shit about her being able to smack me, is probably going to really lay into
She's
me.
probably going to want to like really, she'll have something to prove.
Yeah. We've got 3 charities we're supporting this year on OCTOBERKAST. This is if you're just tuning in, thank you, because we haven't done this in a while. This is our 24-hour podcast marathon. We raise money for charity every year. We are into the 9th hour in about 18 minutes, and we have Roger Chang here this hour, closing in on the end of that. We're supporting 3 charities this year. Child's Play, they raise money to buy toys and games for kids in hospitals, sick kids in hospitals around the world. Doctors Without Borders, they send medical professionals, nurses and doctors to disaster zones, war zones, all the places that you can't get good medical care and you need the doctors most. And the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which is, they fight for the users. They support internet freedom and digital freedom so that things like the NSA will hopefully stop spying on our phones and freedoms.
We're only $1,200 away from Will getting slapped in the face.
Yeah.
And I will take a slap in the face at $20K.
Okay. I think you should take 2 slaps in the face at $20K, one on each side.
At the
Turn
same
the other
time.
cheek. Oh, that's even better.
That doesn't work.
Hey, wait, do you guys have a high-speed
negate
camera?
each
Then
other.
you could get.
No, we
his-
don't have one here.
Uh,
Well, I have
it'd
my
be great
iPhone.
Be great to be great to see how
Actually,
Norm's face.
It's 120 frames a
does-
second.
We will do
better than nothing.
Yes. You're right. I don't know if we can get the ripples. The ripples are important. Frank Ippolito.
He's in
popped
chat.
So
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out for people who follow the site. We just announced this week we're doing another long-term project. This time with effects artist Frank Ippolito, who, if you have been following Tested this past year, made Adam Savage's Admiral Akbar mask and arms and costume. And we announced this week that we're going to be working with him to make a Dr. Zoidberg mask. So the first story is on the site right now. If you go and test it, it'll be on the front page. Check it out after Oktobercast, and we'll have a lot more from that in the coming weeks and months.
Zoidberg.
Hi, Frank. No, he goes.
Are you practicing? So Roger, thank you as always for coming out. What do you have anything to plug?
Yes, the show at
Okay.
Techzilla.com.
Okay,
My Twitter at Jolly Roger.
that is a fitting handle.
It's great. Unfortunately, it's also shared by like 4 bars around the globe.
So yeah, tell me about sharing your Twitter name with somebody else
It's,
that's out there.
So every time people go for a celebratory drink,
Uh-huh.
I believe there's a Jolly Roger bar in South Africa.
Okay.
One out near Portland.
Okay.
I think there's one out in England.
Okay.
And then one somewhere out in the upper eastern seaboard.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm giving you a quest right now.
All right.
Your quest is to visit each of the bars in the world named the Jolly Roger.
Interesting.
I mean, you can take it or leave it. It's on the table.
Yeah, no, totally. I've always wanted to visit South Africa.
Yeah.
I think, in between the crime and all that stuff, it should be an okay trip.
Plus, it's where they
Dan
keep
just
the
did
aliens.
a show on South Africa in his
Parts unknown.
Parts Unknown. It was really good. Yeah.
Did it look like a fun place to visit or someplace you might die?
No, a fun place to visit.
I've talked to a couple of people who were former residents of South Africa. Give me horror stories. So I definitely have an idea of what I may or may not encounter.
You can ease into it with the Portland one.
Yeah.
That's like an easy 8-hour
Yes.
drive. So
Easy 8 hours.
save the South Africa trip could be the victory lap, or maybe the England trip, whatever you want. It's always a pleasure, sir. We'll check back in next year and see how the Spirit Quest is going.
Cool.
So that'll just about do it. Let's see. We hold on. We did the charity turnover.
We're good on the.
We're good on that.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
We are.
I've got to do the turnover. That's why I was.
Yes.
That's why I was pausing
Every
early.
3 hours.
Thank you, Norm. I knew there was a reason. You're good, Roger. I'll kill your mic for you. Hello. The next guest has arrived. I'm starting the stream up. This is some audio podcast
Wow.
and YouTube stream. No, YouTube stream's still going.
Hero of the Tested podcast of the Oktobercast 2013 so far.
Wow.
Whoever created that photo of space rocks.
That's pretty amazing. Pretty good stuff right there.
Yeah, I don't know who takes credit for that, but again, I just take it as another sign of the community support that's
The
out
people
there.
want space rocks. It's pretty clear, Gary. So we're 9 hours in now, almost. How's everybody feeling? What's the mood on the
Feeling
left side of the table?
I'm good enough that I can have beer.
You're having 2 beers.
I offered one and it was turned down. So
I
I
appreciate
gotta
it.
finish
But
two.
no, it's.
So I'm gonna have both beers and then have my second half of the sandwich as my dinner.
I don't think I've had any caffeine since my coffee ran out
And
at
then
about 5.
Phil Broughton's gonna be here. I've decided when I'm doing some makeup, I'm gonna give myself a scar or a
You're going to
wound
do that on yourself?
on my arm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
The
and-
testing area.
And that will be at 11 to midnight.
You're going to do that during the Robbie Baldwin
Yeah.
Power Hour?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. We're going to wrap up. If you're watching us on archives and stuff like that, the next stream is going to start momentarily. The old stream is
We're
wrapping
about
up
to do
now.
the switch over here.
We're ready for a switch over if we want to. I think Veronica and Roger are probably chatting, comparing notes. Roger might be preparing Veronica for the majesty, the silent majesty of space rocks and all the other nonsense that's happening here. Oh no, we do. It's kind of a loose show in case you haven't noticed before. Yeah, sit there. Got some headphones someplace. They should be nice and warm. I'm going to start. That's gross.
Has that Space Rocks thing been up on the screen that whole time?
Just since
Gary, are you already losing focus?
Oh, during the switchover.
Yeah, during
okay.
the changeroo.
All right, I got it.
So if you're listening to the old stream, it doesn't go down anymore. I'm sorry. It's a bass kick drum stand. Oh, your microphone's off. There you go. Hi.
Is that better?
That's great. I'm killing the old stream. Go listen to the next one in the playlist.